Fucking finally. God damn, YouTube is annoying. Okay. God damn.
A bit.
Alright, we back. Alright. I don't know, bruh. My computer just said fuck me and everything I'm trying to do and literally just turned off and did a Windows update. And that was some bullshit. I'm not gonna lie. I've been on my computer all day and it just decides to Windows update right now of all the times to update. But anyway,
Ridiculous.
so we
Well,
so as we were saying, as I was saying before I got interrupted by my computer, this dude literally said right here to our village, take you back to our village. He says it, where is it? Right here. Think of it as our home village.
mm,
So therefore, humanity lived outside the walls. That's their home village, right?
if that was such an important, if he really believed off of that and realized, oh, must be humanity complete outside the walls, why didn't he tell nobody? Why didn't he go and tell Hanj, oh, listen, humanity, I think humanity lives inside the walls based off this, what this nigga just said to me. But
Because it was a
he literally
because there was a
told,
lot of shit going on at the time. Like they were in a life or death situation. They didn't have really time to sit down and talk.
so he would give Hanji a message telling her about what he heard Berthold and Ymir and what they talked about how
It
she
was
was
literally non-stop shit going on. Like
like,
right after, like they had after they right after they saved him, there was a revolt, and they didn't even have a they were hiding from the government and shit.
but he still was able to at least write down some shit to
Why
Hanj.
would he do that? What he need to tell her for? What she gonna do? Go kill them? Go outside the walls and search herself? They literally are under attack. They have to solve this problem first before they can talk about other shit.
Nah, but he told Hanj, he wrote down a message writing the text of what he heard Ymir talk to Bert, what Ymir and Bertolt talked about when he could barely, when he was like barely conscious. Remember, he wrote that shit down for him,
I
for her.
guess. I guess maybe he
So,
just don't remember, or he didn't take it into he didn't really think about what he said probably. But he
okay, so
did tell him.
therefore,
But he did tell him.
so he therefore didn't even come to the consensus yet that humanity as a whole is on the walls.
I mean, he didn't conceptualize, he didn't contextualize it. He didn't think about it in himself. Like, yeah, probably not.
So he didn't really think so yet, right?
I guess, bro. Well, I'll let you have it. I guess I don't know. I just can't possibly believe that. I can't possibly believe that Aaron was so pressed about people just existing.
He was the thing is, it's not as if he said that, it's not as if it comes from that idea that, oh, he was disappointed in the fact that it existed. It's not it doesn't come from like left field. It doesn't like it makes zero sense if you were to think like that.
Mm.
It doesn't make zero sense at all with this character. Not as if, what, bro, you think like you're disappointed the fact that humans sit out the walls for real? Like, bro, you're tripping. Like, the way he is, it's not as if that doesn't work for him. It works for him because there are ways you could say, oh, he also, before I even continue that, I didn't even look at what this nigga said in the same chapter, right? With the 131 when he's talking about. it existing, and you're saying how, you know, humans are trying to kill them and all that. Right before that, he already kind of said it was to save Eldia, right? Remember he said,
Mm-hmm.
but it's more than
It's
just
more than just saving Eldia, right?
so you can already take that, move that aside. That this is not what he's trying to get at.
Yeah.
That they're trying to kill. He's already trying to tell you that it's not just about the fact that there's people trying to kill them, and he isn't. He's already trying to get. He's already trying to move. He's already trying to say that it's not just about the fact that humans try to kill him, and he's annoyed about that. He's already moving that. He's already moving that aside and telling you that's not what it is. Based off that statement right there, would you agree?
Not necessarily. It's more than that. Can mean a lot more than just like obviously saving Eldia. Yeah, it's to protect Eldia, but it's more than that. Means that
Means that what?
means that protecting his friends, but it's more than that. It makes you imply that he has an ulterior motive than just protecting his friends, which to an extent I agree. But his ulterior motive is freedom, not just for protection, because he could protect them without killing other people. He could just like do Armin's plan, but he doesn't want to just protect them. He doesn't want to just accept the way things are and hope and try to deter them from killing him. He wants to have absolute freedom. That's what
I'm
I
pretty.
took from that. That's what I took from that. And not
Like,
absolute freedom in the way of exploration. Absolute freedom in the way of exploration without having to worry about being killed for his people, not necessarily for himself, because he only have 4 more years to live anyway.
I'm pretty sure the save LDF falls under that category, bro.
Mm-mm. No, because
Have
he could save LDL without killing people. He could protect LDL without killing anybody. He could just go it, like I said, he could just go Armin's plan.
just just to do the rumbling and then wait 50 years and
Yeah,
build
until
up
and yeah,
resources.
yeah.
But that wouldn't even that plan doesn't wouldn't even work really, bro.
We don't know
That,
that his plan didn't fucking work, so we
and
don't know that.
that plan was that plan was exactly. I say if his plan didn't work, there was no way in hell Armin's plan would have worked because that's even less. It's even less. It's even more people that they got to fight against.
You never know. I mean, it could have Armin's plan could have worked. He had to be willing to sacrifice Historia, but obviously he don't give a fuck about her anyway. So I don't see why he has such a big deal about sacrificing her. But
This is
all
more
right,
based off 131 state. This is even.
yeah, I feel you, bro. But we've been debating for an hour. I gotta let some other people get in, but I do
Oh
appreciate you, bro. What?
hold on. Before I did, right? Before I
Mm-hmm.
did, um, I saw people in the chat calling me a mumble rapper, right?
Bro, don't
'Cause I
listen
was
to that chat, bro.
so,
They just be
well,
trolling.
but like, yo,
They
can
just be
I, can
trolling,
I,
bro.
can you put on a beat? Can you put on a type beat?
No, bro. What the fuck?
And I
No,
freestyle on the beat for 2 minutes,
no, bro. Fuck. What you about to freestyle?
and I freestyle on the beat.
Bro, you ain't gonna be able to hear the beat in sync of me. You gotta put the beat on.
Oh, I got to put the beat on. All right, I'll
Put
put the
it through
beat on.
your. You gotta play it through like a speaker or something. You ain't gonna be able to
All
hear it through me, cause
right,
it's gonna
bet.
be delayed.
All right, I'm gonna put the beat on. All right, I'm gonna put the beat on right now. All right, I'm gonna put a beat on. I'm gonna put a beat on, and then you're gonna my freestyle with it, right?
All right.
All right, bet. All right, here we go. Let's put the beat on right here. Let me put this. Yeah. Let me freestyle. Let me freestyle on this beat right here.
Go crazy, man.
But I gotta let because I'm freestyle on this John,
You
and then
freestyling. We got it.
quick freestyle.
Go crazy.
I'm a little crazy right now. What is this thing? Oh, here.
That's just on the fire. Ew.
All right. All right. Here you go. All right. Actually, no, fuck. I can't. I don't want to do this shit anymore.
All right, bro.
I didn't do it.
All right, bro.
I
You really just did all that just to not do it?
Oh, no. You know, I'm gonna do it right now.
Go, bro. You already made everybody wait.
You're right. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna hit the beat. Real quick. You hear the beat? You hear the beat?
No.
You hear this?
No.
Oh, it's coming. Well, let me see if it comes on. You hear this shit? You hear this shit?
No. I hear it faintly.
You hear this?
No.
How's this?
Just do acapella. Just do acapella. It's too low, bro.
You all right. Okay, let's restart it. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
All right. Ooh. I'm smoking on gas. Put a little bitch in the past. Fuck a bad bitch and I pass. Shoot on my shit out of 30. Fuck on that bitch, Stephen Curry. Ooh. Diamonds on that dick on hurry. Went in the block and that immature bit. She suck on my dick, she gon' suck on that shit. Pop me your perk, I'ma pop me your zit. Smoking on gas, but put a little bitch in the motherfucking hazmat. Diamonds on naked and know that they clean. Fuck up that bitch, now I'm sipping on lean. Smoking on gas, I be popping these beans. With the whole block and that immature mama house. Fuck on your bitch and I fuck on your fucking spot. I got a lock on my immature house. Shooting that shit, I ain't shooting my 30. I got a lock, I fuck on that bitch. She sucking my cock, I'm smoking on zips. Diamonds are wet, they looking so clean. Ooh, put a little bitch on the block. Fuck up that bitch, now she look like a thought. I got a lock on my rubber, the mouth. Smoking gelato, I'm smoking on pot. Palm me your prick and I ride in a drop. Have a blue 100 band. Fuck on your bitch and I'm doing the running man. I got a Glock on my aim at the 100 bands. Ooh.
I thought the subject was gonna be Attack on Titan. To be honest with you.
Yo, fuck on that bitch and I ride in a fader. I got a lock on that bitch is up. Ooh, that bitch is a faker. Smoking on gas. I'm shooting my shit. Glock I don't miss. Smoking on gas. Pop me and shit. Nigga, I'm popping my shit. Ooh, nigga, I'm popping that dick. Ooh, what the whole block and not shooting it. Niggas be hitting and moving it. Diamonds on neck, no, I'm pooping it. Poop on your bitch and I poop on your hoe. Pussy little bitch, you ain't got no dough. Diamonds on neck, they looking so cold. Diamonds on neck, they looking so fast. Fuck on your bitch, put in the past. I got the Glock in with the mask. That's good, right?
Yeah, bro, you killed that shit, man. You went crazy. Man. That shit was hilarious. Shit, everybody loved it, man. You killed that shit. Hey, yo, give a round of applause for Super J, man. We appreciate you coming by, bro. Have a good day, man. That dude is hilarious, man. I'm going to produce him. I'm about to sign him to my record label on the real. All right. Next up, we got Captain Delicious. Captain Delicious Pants. Real quick. He just wanted to say a few words first, and then we got Racer AOT after that. What's up, Minervu? Manmeru. Captain Delicious, you there? Captain Delicious. I guess he's not there. Captain Delicious Pants. Okay. Guess he's not there. All right, Racer AOT then. All right, Racer, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry for taking a while. I was just taking.
Good, man.
Anyway, sorry I didn't get to answer your question a little bit earlier. So sorry, let me actually close this out. So I guess the reason that I was gonna say about your earlier question is like, why did he follow the question so like, I guess, why did he follow the plan so to the letter and follow it even when it wasn't his plan? The reason is I actually wanted to bring that up is because even if even if it's not his plan, or even if it's not, doesn't mean it's not something he has to do. He doesn't mean it's like, sorry, it's like, so just because it's his plan doesn't mean it's just because it's not his plan doesn't mean he's not going to do it or not going to push forward to finish his goal or finish what he needs to do. Because honestly, okay. Also,
okay, wait, let's get some context in here because we're going off of a previous conversation that everybody probably don't remember or wasn't there.
Yeah, fair enough.
So what exactly are you arguing?
You were talking about earlier debate. It was about I think it was about, like, you were saying, oh, why is Aaron fighting so hard for it if it's not his plan? Why is he so determined? I guess you could say to do something that wasn't his plan. I think that was what you said.
Why was he so determined to do something that wasn't his plan?
Yeah, basically why he was so dedicated to doing it, and he didn't plan it or or even want it. I believe that's what you said. I mean, I could.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember.
Anyways, I wanted to say about how the reason I was just saying is, even though it's not his plan, it's something that he has to do for the survival of his friends and somebody he wants to push forward with that. And also, I've got to say this to your audience. Probably they're hearing me. My opinion is that of my own. To say that I represent the entirety of AOR or whatever, Attack on Retards or whatever, is kind of bullshit because, firstly, I've got unpopular opinions even within them. I still think 139.5, the 8 pages, was caused by Civil War. So
you thought it was caused by Civil War?
Actually, yeah. This is actually.
How do you nuke yourself?
Have you not? I mean, Sherman's March. Have you seen the Sherman's March or American history? Sherman's March to the Sea.
No, they nuked themselves in that.
No, but he basically destroyed any kind of land while he was marching to the sea. Well, pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, but nuking and destroying is two different things.
He basically was trying to reduce everything to rubble in the south and basically make sure they had no ability to surrender. It was a civil war, and yet actually has more American conflicts than both World War I and World War II. It has more American casualties, than both World War I and World War II combined. So the point is, though, yes, if they are wanting to say overcome to try to overcome another side, and they have the technology for it, they will be willing to say push as much technology as they can to actually achieve that. Okay. Achieve what they want.
Fair enough. I mean, so it's possible that it could have been a civil war. We'll never know. Isayama probably will never explain it. But let's just go back to Attack on Titan in general, right? So you think that the ending to Attack on Titan was well written, correct?
Yes. But actually, here's the question I wanted to ask you. I haven't actually really asked you a ton of questions. Okay. What is it actually that I haven't actually looked at a ton of your videos? What is it that you think that is bad about the ending?
Oh my god! I'll be here all day explaining that to you. So much.
I mean,
I think that every single panel in chapter 139 is absolute dog shit.
Levi saluting?
Except for anything. Yep, I think that's dog shit too.
Why?
Why do I think the Levi saluting panel is dog shit?
Yeah.
2 reasons. He puts the goal of killing Eren on the scouts that died, like Erwin and Petra, when they fucking had no fucking idea anything about Eren and what he'd become, and he has no idea if they would be for or against his plan. He's just shoehorning them into thinking the same way that he thinks when they may have completely opposite beliefs as to what he thinks. They could have very well been Jaegerists for all he knows. He has no idea. That's the first thing. Second thing, Annie's sitting right next to him celebrating that her father's alive when Annie's the reason why Petra, who he saw in the vision, is dead. and Annie has not apologized. Annie has not done anything.
Honestly,
But Levi had a rock hard dick on for killing Zeke, who did nothing even close to a fraction as bad to him as what Annie did.
Here's actually something I actually want to bring up. It's just, do you think Levi, after like no regrets, is very vengeful?
Well,
do you think that he would?
Do I think he's a vengeful person?
Yeah. Do you think that he would?
Yes. If he's vengeful for Zeke, then he's vengeful for.
The thing is,
he was vengeful for Zeke. He was enjoying torturing him.
Yeah.
The
thing is, here's what I want to bring up. Actually, the thing is, he said that primarily his goal and the reason that he was so pissed off with Zeke living was not necessarily because of vengeance. Wait,
because he promised Erwin.
Yes,
because who cares?
He's never fulfilled. He's almost always fulfilled a goal that he had in mind, and almost always tried to fulfill a goal that he had in mind when he wanted to kill, like, say, when he wanted to say he tries to protect his friends. It basically when he tries to protect his friends, when he, like, in No Regrets, actually, he's always so laser focused on not necessarily vengeance, but rather completing a goal that he had in mind. And also about the Jaegerist thing, I don't really think, as much as people say that Erwin would have been the Jaegerist, I really do not think so. This is the same.
We don't know that he would be or that he wouldn't be, but the fact is we don't know. We don't know. And Levi put that on him, that he would have been on his side and thought the same way as him, that Erwin's goal was to kill Aaron, and it wasn't.
Tim, even Hanji said that, oh yeah, she knew that it was her incompetence that led to Aaron basically getting up to power. But he said that also, that he knew that, and in 127, she said that, or actually I'll say gender neutral because she's been described as non-binary, so I'll keep it. Anyway, Hanji described it more as, do you think really anybody would have been like, say, let's rest inside while the rest of the world, Paradise's future is all that matters? Do you think? And she brings up the point that it's not that simple necessarily that Aaron is, or everybody would side with Aaron, and because it's very much and even on 124 and 126, it shows that they're not exactly all.
I didn't say everyone would. I never said everyone would. I said Levi was assuming that they would. That's what I said.
I mean,
he can't just assume that the same way I can't assume that they won't. He can't assume that they will, but he did.
I mean, Levi kind of, has been by Erwin's side, and also Hanji's.
So he knows Erwin better than anyone else, but that still doesn't mean he knows what he would think. There's plenty of times where Erwin decided things that Levi didn't agree with. For example, leading the charge.
He's saying that. It's true, but at the same time, I'm just saying that. I mean, I guess that is true that you can't know, but I'd say also it's unlikely that he would have gone for full rumbling because Erwin's smarter than that.
Maybe, but that doesn't mean he'd want to kill Aaron if Aaron did one.
I mean,
don't know that.
Maybe.
We have no way of knowing that, so that's not fair for Levi to put that on him, and that's why I think that panel was trash. And also because our Annie is sitting over there laughing and giggling when
she's literally
she's staring at right now.
I'd say actually I bring up that
unnecessarily.
Didn't Annie I mean, the thing is this. I don't really get. So, about Annie, I actually do think that I don't really get why it's like saying that it's so overly focused on, say, what her reuniting with her father is.
She got rewarded for being the most selfish character in the story. She got rewarded.
If she was rewarded by being the most selfish character in the story,
most selfish character in the entire story of Attack on Titan. She was number one. And she got rewarded.
Kind of.
Who was more selfish than Annie?
Gross literally fed dogs. He literally fed Faye to.
You talking about the fucking? He didn't get rewarded.
I mean, he got rewarded until about what is it called again?
He got his ace. He got his face ate off.
Yeah.
Who's more selfish than Annie that got rewarded in Attack on Titan? Who?
I mean, you could argue his story actually, because she ends up having her child while so many other children could have
But
also
Historia
died.
was not
Or,
selfish.
I mean, she kind of did choose. And actually, Aaron brought this up. She's the worst girl in the world. That's why he told her his plan for the rumbling, because it would be because he knew that even though she would say she'd like of course be like terrified and hate it, of course she would, that she
That's
wouldn't
not
be able
selfish
to.
though. That's not selfish though. It's selfish in regards to the rest of the world choosing parity over the
Also,
rest of the
wouldn't
world.
you say
But
that
that's not
also?
selfish.
I mean, she was technically choosing her child's life and her life
No, she didn't have
over.
a child yet.
Well, she was going to, and actually,
She
she
didn't
asked
know.
Aaron specifically to
Yeah,
have a
pretty
child.
weird why she asked him, huh?
I mean, to be fair, I feel like if she asked him to have a child and they had a child and then she went to Farmer and say, "Hey, do you want to pretend to be my my boyfriend or like guy I was
No,
knocked
she
up
didn't.
with
She
so I
didn't
can."
go and ask him. It was
Yeah, she
obviously
did.
set up. I
She
know. I
went
know.
to
I know.
she
No,
went
no,
to
no, 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 no. I know in the story, but obviously it was set up by Flock or someone else. It was set up by a Jaegerist so that they would pretend. Obviously, she didn't go herself, and he was just like,
she,
"Okay, sure, I'll pretend to be your boyfriend."
she did kind of though. She literally did like Yelena or somebody like observe her. I mean, this might be cut
No,
in the
that
anime, but I
was
believe in the
Aaron. That
manga.
was Aaron. Does Aaron observing her? It was not Yelena. It was Aaron.
I
Aaron's the
mean, I
only
believe it was.
character to wear a
I
hoodie.
believe it was.
Aaron's the
Uh,
only character to wear that hoodie.
wasn't it like? I don't believe it was a hoodie. I think it was like a jacket. I might be
It was a
mistaken, but I
hoodie
believe
jacket. It's a jacket with a hoodie
I
on it.
believe it was just the jacket covering their head, and I believe it also was like somebody who was taller than Aaron. I mean, it was,
Nah, you couldn't tell the size from the shot. It was definitely 100% Aaron.
eh, it's. I mean, also, wait, how is Aaron the only one with a hoodie? You could even argue that. You could even argue Armin had a
I'm talking
hoodie.
about a full
Like,
cloaked one. I'm talking about
actually,
like a full cloak hoodie, not just the scout hoodie, like a fully just one jacket.
and also
Only
technically
Aaron.
that got cut out of the anime, so that
It
also
did
could
get cut out in the
technically.
anime. I wonder why. I wonder the fuck
I
why.
mean, if you're saying that it's Aaron, it kind
Yeah.
of does. It
It
kind of
proves
disproves that.
it proves that we were right and it was a retcon and they took it out because they know that shit don't make no fucking sense for a dude with a hoodie to be standing there if it wasn't Aaron. It makes no sense. Why would someone be watching her fuck a farmer?
Why are you guys like bringing in? I really get why everybody's so interested in sex in the
I'm
Attack on
not.
Titan.
Why is the dude in the hoodie interested in sex? Why is he there?
You literally asked him, and he's observing her.
Why is
Like,
he
I don't
observing
think
her
it's-
fuck a dude that she loves?
She didn't observe. Like, you're acting like they just did it right there in like the barn.
Okay,
Anyway,
why is she
this is
observing
getting
him
a little
flirt with a dude that she
convoluted.
loves? Why does
I feel
anyone
like
need
that's
to
a
be
bit
present?
convoluted.
Why does anyone need to be present while they flirt if she loves him?
Maybe to observe what's happening.
Why?
Wasn't this supposed to be like a spy situation where
No, it's not
basically
supposed to be. There's no reason to spy. Historia, go fuck the dude you love. All right, I'm gonna go do that and have a baby with him. I love that dude anyway. So we gotta watch it happen. We gotta make sure. We gotta make sure that
Not
she
gonna lie,
wants to
you make
fuck.
it sound, you make the story sound a lot weirder than it is. Not gonna lie.
I'm saying it how it was fucking drawn, bro.
I mean, we see how it's fucking drawn by basically the description of like the what is it called again? The forgot what's the name. Oh, the higher ups. We're the MPs basically.
Yes. And they said they don't fucking
By the way,
believe it.
also, I
They said
really
they don't
get-
fucking believe it, and
So
I don't believe it
really
either.
get, I don't really get the retcon also. And actually I brought this up. Not many people, I don't think even many people in AOR kind of agreed with me. But actually I was like said that the thought was it's not that oh yeah, Aaron was like the father because I don't really think it was the father or Aaron was the father. It's
If Aaron was not the father, then the story was poorly written. That's the only way. It's only those only two options.
Oh.
You can't tell me it was well written and he's not the father. You can't.
Why?
Because it was built up because of the questions I just asked you.
And also it's just
why
like
is someone observing? Just answer me that question logically. If
Okay.
Aaron is not the father, then that means that Historia loves the farmer genuinely, correct?
I mean, it's still like
Yes or no? It's just a yes or no question. It's a yes or no question. If Aaron is not the father, then that means that Historia chose the farmer. She chose him out of all the dudes in the walls to have a baby with. She chose him on her own. So therefore, she must have feelings for him.
Dude, you realize that I'm not saying that she initially loved the father, right? I said initially she didn't.
Okay, initially she didn't, but now she does. In the story, she does love him. She wants him. She chose him. Historia chose the farmer. Yeah, right or wrong?
Yeah. I
guess. Historia chose the farmer. So we can agree. Historia chose the farmer. If Historia chose the farmer, then why the fuck is there a dude with a hoodie standing behind while they're flirting? What reason is he there for? What reason?
Not flirting. It's not not flirting.
Whether having a conversation, whatever you want to say. Why is he there?
Because he wants to spy on him.
Why?
Because it's supposed to be talks for the Jaegers. She wanted to be, because she was also being a person of interest with how she's, she's a person of interest.
They weren't spying her far away. She could see him there. He was standing right there, so she could see him. She knew he was there. It wasn't like a good job spying, and like he was behind a bush or something. He was right in front of her.
Actually, no, he was behind the
barn, but he was within her sights. He was within her vision. He was within her vision.
How's backwards the vision? I don't. Really
it wasn't backwards. The
farmer.
Okay, let me pull it up.
No, I'm not talking about the farmer. I'm talking about the spy.
I'm about to pull it up.
I mean, okay, if you want.
Hold on.
But anyways, while you pull that up, it's really a retcon. Anyways, let me get on to my farmer. Let me get on to my point. The point I actually thought was about farmer. It's it was supposed to be that he was nameless, he was even faceless, but yet he managed to treat her better than both her mother, her father, and many of the people in her lives.
When he was throwing rocks at her?
That was... Ironically, he literally served her for 3 years.
You said
3 years for something that... And honestly, I'm not saying that he's doing something good. Obviously not. But he literally... Unlike literally... every person who has wronged her in her entire life, he actually wanted to, fix his mistake. Who in the Attack on Titan has not only wronged Historia, but have been willing to not only actively come back to help, but also be willing to help in whatever ways. Ymir, no. She kind of does end up leaving her, and she does actually end up pissing Historia off.
Her and she came back.
She left her to be eaten by Tatacaw. If you're talking about this, I think after chapter 1, I think it should be. I don't know. I think it's 103 or something. Yeah, I don't know. 103 still is. It's in the War of Paradise arc. When is the beginning of War for Paradise arc starts? Let me check. So it's a nice. Also, apparently, there's no official Apparently, there's no official rumbling arc. War for Paradise is just the entire arc from War of Paradise to Rumbling. So basically, 107 to 139.5, I guess.
Must be 108. No, it must be. It's before this. 106. Yeah, 106.
No,
sure. This is when she gets. This is when she gets.
Oh no, that's 108. It's 108.
108. Yeah, 108.
It's a sound argument. I remember that.
Yeah.
Also, I find it kind of funny. Everybody's saying it. Also, it's also Historia say,
so the farmer could see him 100%.
It's just didn't Historia say that? Anyway, it was observing, and
This is a good spy to you.
Good spy.
It look like a spy.
I'm not looking at what you're showing. Also.
Okay. Well, I'm asking the chat. Does that look like a good spy to y'all?
Also, I'm not looking.
Don't look like spy to me.
Anyway, let's see. Read. But anyway, the point is that he was trying to. Also, I find it kind of funny how the story was basically saying, "Oh, you've only told Aaron, right?" And basically teasing her about the fact that she literally really has a crush on Aaron. Actually, even like a lot of people in early on were teasing Mikasa about having a crush on Eren. Kind of. Like, well, no, I believe in Sound Argument, she also says about it might be Sound Argument. It also might, yeah, it's Sound Argument. Basically about how, oh yeah, Eren's like, she was like saying, oh, you've only told Eren, it was like, and she was basically teasing her about it. And honestly, I don't really get why. Honestly, and also there's also 123. I'd say also about he's like saying, oh yeah, what am I to you? And he's in fact saying that uh I mean, if he knew there was nothing more than just either friends or sister or whatever, he wouldn't have asked that. I don't really think that we would ask that because it would be kind of weird for you to be saying that, wouldn't it?
Well, I never said that Aaron didn't have any romantic feelings for Mikasa at all. It's possible. All
I
I'm saying
mean,
is they never had an interaction. They never had a romantic back and
chapter
forth where they
50?
reciprocate. No, I don't consider that. I consider that romantic on Mikasa's side, not Aaron's side.
I mean, Aaron did say he'd
Yeah,
wrap
scalp the heart,
some
he wrapped
do
the scarf.
something. Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't consider that as romantic because the reason when he wrapped the scarf, it was nothing romantic about that. When he wrapped the scarf around her the first time, what that symbolizes is him
He kind of,
protecting
like,
her,
also,
having her back.
yeah.
That had nothing to do with romance, though.
Though he also blushed, I believe, in the after like tying him around, tying the scarf around. He
No,
actually
she
blushed.
blushed. He didn't.
He blushed.
When?
Check the anime.
You talking about the first
Anime,
one?
and
You
it
talking about
was-
when he was
yeah.
when they were kids?
Yeah.
No, he did not blush.
Yeah, he did. If you want to, actually, you know what? I'll actually get the video.
Go ahead. He didn't
Me-
blush.
Aaron,
She
you
did.
know what? I'll post it.
She 100%.
Aaron, Aaron wraps the scarf around Mikasa.
I don't think so. If he did blush, then it was more so like this is an awkward situation, or like I'm being extremely emotionally vulnerable with you right now type of blush. It wasn't a romantic. They were fucking kids.
I know, but the thing is, it's just everybody acts like they're like, no, there's like Aaron. But anyway, here's a post of Aaron blushing in. I think that's about episode. I think it's episode 4. It might be a. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, I
that's
know
it.
what you're talking
Anyway.
about.
Anyway. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just-
That's like barely even a thing, bro. It's more so like.
I mean,
It's
you
more
did
so
say
like-
that there was
okay,
no. You did say that there
you're
was
right,
no
you're right.
blushing.
There's a blush, but it's not like that kind of a blush. I'm talking about like an actual like I'm attracted to this girl, I have a crush on this girl type blush.
I mean, I think the whole point of like him not trying to reveal it is also because it's kind of the point. He said in 130 whether his feelings really didn't matter because it said whatever his feelings were with Mikasa, he was gonna die in a few years
That's
anyways.
true. That's true. We're not talking about feelings though. We're talking about the logistics of Historia having his. I'm talking about him just being the biological father of that baby.
So
I'm not talking about them being in a
wait.
relationship.
You're saying about how like Aaron is like impregnated to Historia but loves Mikasa.
No, I don't think he loves Mikasa either. I think he
Did-
impregnated
you said,
Historia
like,
for.
literally that he said that he didn't deny that he didn't have feelings for him. So
I
that's
said it's
kind of a
possible.
contradiction
No, I said it's possible.
Yeah,
I don't
but
think
the
I
thing
don't
is,
believe it personally, but it's possible. But I don't believe it. No.
okay.
I don't
Also,
treat-
I'm gonna
I,
ask you.
I don't see
I'm
why
gonna-
you would treat. I don't see why he would treat her that way if he loved her.
because the entire point of the thing with the table scene is because it's supposed to be sudden. Actually,
Nah, it's bad
one person
writing.
brought this.
The table scene is bad writing
How?
all around. Huh?
How?
I can
How?
give you 1,000 reasons. I made a video about it. I gave
can
you
give you
1,000
a-
reasons why that writing is terrible.
So,
Absolutely terrible.
I actually think
And
it's
compared to the end of this, with knowing now that we know what the ending is, that scene was written terribly.
what? I thought the entire point of it was he was supposed to push them away because if
Yes,
if he tried to
yes.
say
But the way he did it was so stupid.
I mean, was it?
Yes,
He got Mikasa to actually question her loyalty to Eren,
which is pathetic that she would question that just because he said he didn't because he hated her. She would
he wasn't
question
saying
his.
that because he hated her, because he she was under like I said earlier on like Tatacaw like episode 1. The reason she was is that she was dealing with literally everything that she knew basically crumbling. That's what she was like in an extremely stressful situation. Of course anybody would be like, like a little bit crazy or a little bit unable to like respond. Like if somebody
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that she was. I'm not saying that I was upset at her for not being able to respond in that situation. Even though I feel like she should have been able to. The Mikasa I know, but whatever. If you want to give it to her that she was, if you want to say that she was too shocked to talk in that moment and too hurt to talk in that moment, fine. But for her to want to kill Eren based on those words means that she is a terrible fucking character. She needs to want to kill Eren based on something else. If she wants to kill Eren, based on him hating her,
she didn't kill Eren because he did what?
No, I'm not saying.
I mean, you kind of said that. You're saying, "Oh, she killed Eren because."
I said if. I said if. So my point is, why would Eren say that to her in order to convince her to try to kill him if he already knows that's a stupid ass logic? So why did he?
It's not trying to kill him. He's trying to. Because if he tried to say his plan of like say he wants to rumble the entire world, he has a genuine worry with how much he cares about his friends and how much his friends care about him. Like just look at 139, that his friends would genuinely try to help him. What? And that is something that would probably be, even if it's whether it's legit or not.
So you telling me that if he told them he wanted to destroy the whole entire world, which is what he told them, they want to help him when they didn't?
No, I'm saying if he went fully honest, like initially, like with
not the not the 80% part, fine. Just say I want to destroy all these motherfuckers. I want to kill everybody outside the walls. I want to kill them all. If he told them that at the table, they would have wanted to join him. Yes or no?
I mean, well, you didn't actually. So
no, I didn't. I said if. I said
he
if.
Says if he was willing to do that for.
Why do you always dodge the questions, bro? I'm asking you a straight up question. If Eren told Mikasa and Armin at the table that he wanted to destroy the whole entire world, he just wanted to destroy the whole entire world. I want to do that. They would have wanted to join him. Yes or no?
No. But it's a fear.
So if they wouldn't want to join him, then why would he not say that? Because that's actually the truth. That's actually something that will actually make them want to kill him, and not some "I don't like you, I want to" hurt in their feelings. That little petty shit that they didn't even believe.
I mean, he did kind of. Armin didn't believe it until like Armin didn't believe at least that it was.
But they would have believed him if he said he wants to destroy the whole world. They would have believed him.
But the thing is, it's also that even if he did. It's just that Eren doesn't really know that, does he?
He does know that. They didn't like. They were upset when he attacked Marley.
They were upset that he attacked not just Marley. They were upset that he not only did this literally forcing their hand, and also that he destroyed any kind of ability.
And he killed kids.
Yeah. And
they were upset about that.
Any kind of ability for them to also negotiate or see themselves as even worthy of talking to.
Yes. All that combined, yes.
What Eren
and the rumbling would do the same thing. And the rumbling would do the same thing.
What do you mean?
The rumbling would do the same thing. They wouldn't be able to negotiate anymore, and he would be killing innocent people. The rumbling would do the same exact thing. So why didn't Eren just say that? Why didn't he just say, I'm going to destroy the whole world, and there's nothing y'all can do to stop me. Y'all get the fuck out of my way. Then he would have known for 100% fact that they would have fought him. Instead of saying, I hate you. I hate you. I don't like you. We're not friends no more. Petty ass bullshit like that anybody who had a brain would be able to see through immediately. Like, bro, you don't hate me, bro. Clearly, obviously not.
I mean, not really, considering most of the attack well, you might not have been there during Titanfall selecting.
Bro, nobody fucking actually believed that. Nobody in their right mind believed that Eren hated Mikasa. Maybe he didn't love her, but hate her, nobody believes that.
You'd be surprised. You should actually.
Majority of the fan base didn't believe that. I've watched people react to it.
Maybe a majority didn't, but I'd say it probably. But I'd say that nobody
maybe
believed it.
There are some people who made memes about it and played around, but most people did not believe that Eren literally meant word for word what he was saying on that table. Nobody fucking believed that.
Well, I've seen people who've said that like fake leaks are like real leaks. I don't really think that, really know, honestly, because there's some things that like sometimes it feels like the Attack on Titan fandom is like the smartest, most talented, and then you got people who harass like random creators or whatever
Yeah,
for
and you got the
stupid
people
stuff.
who think Mikasa and Aaron were well written.
I mean, I do think that.
No.
Why not? Because Mikasa, like I told you, Mikasa's like earlier conflict is simply about how she's trying to develop her own, say, it's just trying to develop her way
She already
of,
did that. You talking about
and I
moving on
know.
without Aaron? She already did that. She did that like in the
So I don't
first,
get, so I don't get why that is. I don't get why you saying that's a bad written
because
decision.
she already did that.
She
That was her first
did it
character development, was living without Aaron. That's literally her first character development.
in
Well, second,
trust.
I guess.
You mean in trust?
Yes.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah. No, it's not no guess.
Doesn't mean that
It's true.
she's, I don't get how that makes her a badly written character. That was just
Because if she already had this development, she already knows how to live without Aaron. She's already come to terms with being able to live without Aaron and be okay with that. Why is she going through the same exact character development again?
she's not going through the same exact character development again. The thing is,
She is.
she's
After
like,
she killed him, she was.
I mean, she is moving on, but
After
what
she
she
killed
was
him, she was
doing
crying under the
she
tree
wasn't
with a
like,
scarf falling off her neck for 3 years.
not, she was literally there for 3 years.
She was still there after 3 years. She was still after there for 3 years. She didn't know where to move on without Aaron. She couldn't leave without him.
She was literally saying that she was talking to all of them. She was waiting for all of them to come back.
No,
to
then
her.
she started crying and saying like, I don't know what to do without you. I mean, you don't remember?
No, she says just, oh, I wish to see you again, and she misses him because
says,
yeah, she does. I do believe I've read 139 a lot of times.
Me too.
I mean, okay. Anyway, I'll read the entire like exact quote. I'll say.
Then why is she crying? Why is she
misses him?
Why is she?
I mean, of course, I'm not saying that Aaron's done right. He clearly didn't. But that doesn't mean that all the things that Mikasa, I've told this earlier, that doesn't mean all the things that he went with Mikasa went with him are completely eradicated. He's still, and also, everybody memes about the Aaron, what a man you are. He doesn't even say that in the official translation.
Yeah, but he does sniff the letter.
I mean, oh, this is gonna be interesting. Anyway, everybody is like saying about how, oh yeah, everybody hates the letter, or no, not everybody. It's just my point is that I understand why people may not like it, but I personally I liked it because Reiner beforehand was just like down on this luck, and
so you
really,
think that Reiner sniffing the letter was a good end to his character?
I mean, I don't think it was the end to his character. I think really the end to his character.
Panel he's in?
No, I feel like no, the last panel he's in is technically with him outside on the boat.
Yeah.
But anyway, I feel like his best, where it's like, Mom, I guess I'm not the Armored Titan anymore. And his mom basically says, instead of being horrified like he thought he would be, she says that's great, and basically saying that
she would be?
Is fine. He's gonna be fine with just
think that? Why would she think it would be? Why would she be horrified about it?
Because from Reiner's perspective, all he's done for his mother and everybody has been to seen as hero, to seem worthy of their respect. And actually, what I love about 139, it's an unpopular decision, I know, but what I love about 139 is that he doesn't become this hero who saved humanity, or he became the two sides, one coin, but just not necessarily in the way people think it would.
No, he saved humanity. He definitely saved humanity. The last 20% of it.
I mean, he wasn't the person he wasn't that Helos person who'd be the one to deliver the final blow against Aaron. He wasn't that kind of person.
That was Mikasa.
Yeah. And I think
but Armin took credit for it.
The strength of Reiner's character is that he's finally able to just, be himself. And as weird as it is, I'm glad he's like, there's like way worse things
that he could have been doing the whole goddamn series. With his split
And also
personality.
he lost weight. He also lost weight from between 850 and 854 because of his depression. And it was actually, as somebody who's no, I haven't been through depression, but as somebody who's known people who've gone through depression, honestly, through some of the things, I'd rather have them doing weird things than hurting themselves. I'd really, really, really want that. I'd rather have them sniffing weird letters and just being weirdos like they were over them.
Okay, so what made Reiner so happy all of a sudden?
He finally had the acceptance that he needed.
He
He
already
never
had that.
did he? His
Yes,
mother,
his mother.
until 139, did not even acknowledge the fact that he was her son, that he was somebody who was her son, even without the armored titan.
She didn't
That
acknowledge
is
him
not
as her
something
son.
he didn't acknowledge.
And he
He
returned to
was
Marley.
she was trying to basically associate in his mind how much his armored titan ability was almost more important than him himself. And actually, what I love about Reiner is that instead of being that he did save humanity, but he's not the main hero, and I feel like, and I actually am glad for that, because he's not achieving something he doesn't want to do. He's not doing something that is forced onto him. And for better or worse, as weird as Reiner's moment is, it's a hell of a lot better than him hurting himself and him wanting to literally throw himself into every time so he can die and die and die and die. And it just felt really happy for him, I guess, for the fact that he was able to overcome his mental strife, that he was able to overcome adversity in his own head, because that it might be maybe not somebody relatable, but as somebody who's known people who have gone through problematic periods of their time, I'd rather have somebody them acting weird than them ever holding a gun to their face or them having a knife to their throat. I'd rather have that.
Right, we all would. But my point is that nothing has changed for Reiner as a character pre
He
139,
has
and nothing
between in
changed for him.
139, he's literally able to not only reconcile with John, his relationship with Aaron with John is actually very similar to that of Aaron's relationship with John. He was basically just roasting people. He's like, "Oh, you got. It's very sad that you got a new lease on life, Reiner." Basically, it's like I saw that. It's like kind of funny because it's obviously a joke, and obviously John is able to joke around about stuff like that without Reiner hurting himself or being able to be in a negative state. And I
But do
personally
you
really
okay?
love.
So, but here we go once again. Why was Reiner in a negative state? What was wrong with Reiner? Why was Reiner so conflicted to the point where he wanted to kill himself? Why was that?
Because of a lot of things. Because his mother's lack
No,
of
it wasn't his
communication to
mother's.
show
It wasn't
him.
had nothing to do with his mama.
Yeah, it was.
No,
She does play a part in the role
no.
to how's she was the person who
She
was
was
her
not the reason
his
why he wanted to
story.
kill. She was not the reason why he wanted to kill himself.
I mean, there's also the
It's
memories
only
of.
that one. That's the only reason. His mom had
Is
nothing
it?
to do with it.
His mom pushed him into basically going for the
Yes,
Marlians, and it
yes,
was and and basically fighting for a
you're
cause
right.
he never really did want to go.
That's
So why
correct.
would
But his
so
mother has
whether
nothing.
you
His mother's behavior now has nothing to do with why he wanted to kill himself. Because if that was the case, he would have wanted to kill himself a long time ago.
he did want to kill himself a long
No,
time
he
ago.
didn't.
He wanted to kill. Yeah,
When?
he both Marley,
I'm talking about
RTS could be
before. I'm talking about
argued,
before. I'm talking about before. I'm talking about anything after he returns. Then he wanted to kill himself. The reason why he wanted to kill himself after he's returned is because he has been living with guilt his whole life, unbearable guilt
which
at what
was
he did. It wasn't
yeah,
because of
which
his
was
mother.
started by
Obviously,
his
his mother's the
mother's
reason why he went over.
passion to.
Obviously, his mother's the reason why he went over there. But he doesn't blame his mother for the guilt that he feels. He bears that. He blames
That
that on
doesn't
himself.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that she doesn't play an important part on how he feels and his also self-confidence. Like they were basically saying, he was like saying in Marley, saying, "Oh, how much he wanted to like." He was basically describing just the normal people and his mother, normal people of paradise, as quote unquote devils, and he basically describes Aaron, Connie, Jean, Sasha, and everybody, and he
Yes,
says
and
how
that shows his mental state. He wasn't really trying to please his mother in that moment, was he? He
and she
was he
looked
was showing his mental
horrified.
state.
And she looked horrified and
Of course, he
also
looked
told
horrified.
Gabby.
Of course, he looked horrified, and he realized that. But that's not. But he didn't want to kill himself because his mother was horrified with the way he felt. He wanted to kill himself because he knew that he would never find happiness after what he had been through, and now he had to go through an arc of redemption. And his redemption arc was completed by him holding a fucking worm. And because he held the worm, now he's
no,
all good mentally. Now he doesn't have a split personality disorder. Now he's not sad anymore. He's happy, and he could sniff letters.
I mean, still he does exhibit aspects of
Depression and
I mean,
self-loathing.
actually, I was gonna say it exhibits aspects of the soldier mentality. You could argue that his thing in 127, not 127, 128, where he's like, "Hey guys, you don't have to fight this battle. We'll fight it, and I know we'll take on this burden, so you guys don't have to." That could be an argument to also his mental state, him trying to revert to that mental state, so he can now, instead of wanting to protect himself, he's wanting to protect the livelihood of his friends and not wanting to them to get blood on their hands. And while I did like that, I actually honestly think that Reiner's current mentality, where he's like, it's not like it's instant change. It took 3 years, and he's still weird. It's not like the sniffing letter scene isn't weird. It is, but even after 3 years, he's learned to be able to love himself enough. It's not just
letters. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I just don't buy it. But I get what you're saying. I just don't buy it. I don't think that you can recover from what he's been through to that degree.
I mean, it's not like he's saying that he's, oh, I'm like super happy, and it's not like he's like jumping up with joy. He's still from what he's still very much weird and still very much has that kind of.
So how do you feel about Gene and Connie being friends with the dudes, Annie and Reiner, that
I mean, I
Marco?
feel like he did also actually.
How do you think Marco is rolling in his graves or doing backflips?
I mean, you could argue saying,
imagine that your best friends. Imagine your best friends being best friends with the people that killed you for no reason. How would that make you feel?
Wait, are you talking about Mark?
Yeah, Marco.
Oh, you said Marcel. I thought you were getting. I was kind of confused.
No,
it's like, oh wait, you were talking about Marcel. Why did Marcel was killed by Ymir?
No, I was talking about Marco.
But I think that is also serves to illustrate a point that Reiner kind of brought up with, and how Aaron and he are kind of the same, because it's showing that they are being forced into, or not forced, they are killing people who they know are innocent, and they still do it.
I didn't ask about that though. I know that Reiner understands it.
No, it's illustrating my further point. The reason that he's talking about it is that Jean is his point with Jean, actually, Jean and Connie, that he was bringing up in like 133, I believe. Yeah, it's 130. No, it's 133. Yeah, it's either 133 or 129. Either one. It's about him trying to, because it's not necessarily that, oh, Jean is not that Reiner's forgiven or la-di-da or whatever.
They're laughing and giggling, making jokes. He's 100% forgiven.
It's also the fact that he's also killed his own people for his mission. It's also that he's done things to his people that he cannot take back, and even if he wants to.
Reiner?
No, both Reiner, John, Connie, like even in 129, I believe, they say that it's like, this is must how you've been feeling.
Because
he
John
understands
and Connie killed Reiner's Marleyan comrades out of self-defense.
And what
Reiner
about?
and Annie did not
I was
kill
actually talking about. I was actually
Marco
talking
out of
about.
self-defense.
Um, I was actually talking about Daz and Samuel. The
Yeah,
guys that they
okay.
meet up with in
What's that
128.
got to do with Reiner though?
It's the fact that he's like saying about how, oh yeah, Reiner is like person who put my friends, killed my friends, and yet
Yes.
here he is, uh, Connie and John, not only
Mhm.
willing to kill their friends, but also willing to kill them for a mission that they may or may not even know if it's worth. That is kind of why I feel like they started to maybe not forgive, but understand each other. It's
Yeah, no,
because that
understanding and being best friends with someone is different. I didn't say that they couldn't
I
forgive
mean,
them and just move on.
they can
They're
change in three
literally best
years
friends, but they do not have to be friends with Reiner. But they chose to be
because they
because
understand what he's. They understand not only that he's not exactly wanting to or willing or wanting to actually kill their friends, and they understand what they feel
okay.
and
So I'll go
how
back
they're
to that question
acting.
again. If you died and your best friends became best friends with the people that killed you, would you find that as disrespectful, or you be like, I understand?
I mean, I feel like you're asking that in a question that's literally going to just be either way. So,
Yeah, it's
but
either
I'll
way.
answer it
I'm
anyway.
talking about for you.
For me,
I wouldn't be
this
okay
is
with that.
if it
I'd
was
be like,
a
what the
war.
fuck?
Well, this is also you're not also in their position.
I know I'm
You're
not. I'm speaking
considering,
hypothetically.
but consider also
Obviously, I wouldn't be able to talk if I'm dead, but I'm just saying
was
if I
in a
were.
war. Marco was in a war that he had no idea about, and many of the cadets actually
Yeah,
wouldn't
Marco
be
was
able
trying
to
to
understand
defend his family and friends and
and
not be
also
killed.
serve the king.
No,
Also serve the
no,
king.
just
He
not be killed. Just not be killed.
no, I believe he was
Serving the
talking about.
king and not being killed are hand in hand at that point.
No, John tries to call him out, but really, Marco is probably the most honest guy. He was saying about how he just wants to serve the king and be able to, he's basically a soft boy patriot. Basically, I'd say that.
Okay, but the reason why he's serving the king is to protect his well-being. It's not like he's going out and attacking innocent people. He's defending his home from titans.
Yeah, but the thing is, also, I'd say also, while I do understand why you might be a little bit angry, well, I do. It's just I think the theme of the series is that I mean, if this was true, also Gabby would never be forgiven too.
No,
Gabby is
Gabby didn't do anything near as bad as what Reiner did.
she. I mean, she did kill Sasha. She killed actually a
Yeah,
lot of
Sasha
people.
attacked her home first.
Yeah, true. But that doesn't still give them. That still doesn't really.
That's different. If someone attacks your home first, it's understandable. But Reiner, it was the aggressor in this situation.
Yeah, and you could argue that also.
She literally watched
John
Sasha
and
kill
Connie
her
also.
friend.
John and Connie also literally killed dozens of Jaegerists that were trying to defend
What
their
that
home
got to do with Reiner?
because Reiner did the same thing against again like
He
the
attacked them
parallels
first. They
between.
weren't. He attacked them. He was the invader. They weren't invading Reiner's
I'm,
home.
I'm
Reiner
not
was
talking
invading
about.
them.
I'm not talking about. It's not about really invading first. I don't really get this point. Invading first because I'm not talking about like, oh yeah, he invaded first, so it's worse because that's still it's like saying, oh, you tried to
cast the
kill
first
me,
stone.
you tried to kill me first. That's still
You
trying
cast the
to kill
first
me.
stone. Anything I do is out of retaliation for what you did, but you started it.
I mean,
whoever starts it is always the worst.
If you talked about that, it would technically Paradise and all the people technically would be at fault for the decisions
because they left. They left and they hid on the other side of the world and said, "Please leave us alone. We're sorry for what we did. Please leave us the fuck alone."
No, that was the king, and actually,
that was the king. Yeah, exactly. So, but he's the one who made the choices.
I mean, Karl Fritz. I don't know if Karl Fritz necessarily represents the entire
of course
Paradise
he doesn't,
Legion.
But they have no choice but to follow him because he forced them to. So at the end of the day, they know that Willie told them, so they know that they don't want the smoke.
And also, the
But
king
they still
said,
went
if,
over there
if
anyway.
Marley are powerful
If they
enough,
had to just
he'd
left them the
accept any
fuck alone,
fate.
if they had to just left them the fuck alone, they would never have a problem. If they had to just left them the
Actually,
fuck alone.
I mean, even Grisha was like trying to convince trying to convince Frida into going towards and helping everybody, but
That was because
she
the Titans
refused.
attacked. That's because the Titans attacked.
Yeah,
If the
but
Titans
the
hadn't
thing is,
attacked, like I said, if they had left them the fuck alone, they wouldn't have
no,
never had to.
Frida didn't even when she was like confronted with, oh yeah, the entirety of paradise is gonna be like
Because she had the
destroyed.
king's will. She was possessed by the king's will. Exactly.
Yeah, but the
Exactly.
king's will wasn't just to, oh, leave me alone and I won't harm you. He says,
Yes.
even if you attack me, I won't harm you.
Yes.
That's what the king's
That's
will
the
was.
king's will, exactly. But if they hadn't attacked them, they wouldn't be harming them. If they hadn't attacked them, nothing of this would have happened. If they had just left them the fuck alone.
You could also argue that, oh, if Ymir didn't attack what is it called again? If Ymir didn't attack the Marley and subdue them, then they wouldn't be able to say, oh, why did I attack you? That's the thing. It's just like, it's a constant cycle of, oh, you did this. No, you did this.
That's true, though.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. It does matter who cast the first stone. It absolutely does matter.
Let me say. Do you think this might seem a little bit weird, but do you think that everybody who was born in Germany is responsible for all the atrocities that were happening during the Holocaust?
No.
That's what I mean.
I didn't say that.
When
did I say that? When did I say that?
But the thing is, it's just... It's saying that you're saying about attacking first. There's a thing that you're saying. You can always say
the person who attacks first, not the nation. The person, not the nation. The person, the people who actually do it, not the whole nation. They're not at fault, but the people who actually attack first, they're to blame. Yes, whoever cast the first stone is to blame.
Then you could play literally. Ymir would be the first to blame that.
No, it would be Fritz.
But Ymir was the person attacking,
but she was doing it under command of Fritz. So whoever commanded it is the who's.
I mean, yeah, but you could also argue that they were commanded by what is it called again? The Marleyans.
Yes,
and
I blame
the
them.
ideas
yes,
of the
and I blame them.
Marleyans.
That's my point. I blame them. Yes, I blame them 100%. If they had just left them alone, nothing of this would have happened.
I mean, I don't really know about that, because Aaron himself says that even if, and it says like in school casts at least, that he would have school casts.
He would have wanted to destroy the world, even if blah blah blah. I don't believe none of that shit would have happened. Aaron would have never. Most Aaron probably would have did was just kill the Titans and called it a day. It wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have been all that, my boy. He wouldn't have done a rumbling and all that. That shit would not have happened if they'd have just left them the fuck alone.
I mean, can you say that? Really? You said that also you were brought up that we can't know what Erwin did, Erwin or anyone wanted, or any of them did.
Yeah,
because
even
without the hatred.
You're right. That's my belief. That's my belief. You're right. That's my belief.
And also, you could say also without the hatred of the world, you could also say without the threat of the Titans, none of the Eldians would be under threat or hurt or this or that, even though 99% of them can't actually 100% of them cannot transform without a spinal fluid serum that would literally force them against their will to turn into Titan.
Exactly. So they were no threat.
Yeah. But and that's the point of Attack on Titan. That there's not supposed to be that hatred over wars that happen earlier or this or that are stupid. It's like,
of course they're stupid. I'm not saying they're not stupid. I'm just saying if they hadn't cast the first stone, it wouldn't have happened. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, all right, that's still kind of your belief.
Well, I don't know how else it would have happened. They didn't know that humans exist outside the walls.
I mean, it's not like Paradise once they found the walls too cramped. They wouldn't have tried to expand or try. I mean
they didn't for hundreds of years. I'm sure.
So you could. I mean, that's also because the king was able to like subdue them, or not the king, but rather the shadow government was able to subdue them, and also like there was also the frequent morale boosts that they gave to food.
They kept it that way for years and years and years.
It would eventually run out.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
I mean, there's a limit of.
You don't know it.
I mean, there's a limited amount of space between rows, wall rows and wall Sheena. Even to keep their current lifestyle, they'd have some kind of like maximum population that they'd be able to hold before it ended up being not able.
Well,
to
they could have they could have population control. Send them outside. There you go.
I mean, yeah, but that's
Problem
fair.
solved.
But my point is that it's not like people aren't going to be expansionist or wanting to expand
Yeah,
beyond
they
the
could
walls.
go
We
and
see
die.
Aaron.
They go and die. Simple.
I mean, we see a lot of though thanks to actually you could technically thank the outside world for this, but thanks to Reiner attacking, people actually some people started to pay more attention to the military, and actually they became a lot more serious and more people joined the military. And also they also were able to uncover the secret plans of the MPs and also some technology, and also they're trading with Kiyomi. Actually, speaking of which, I forgot even to mention Kiyomi. She also was literally. I don't really. This is a point that I bring up. Why is it that she's also literally providing them with resources and connections,
Yeah.
so they can literally advance technologically and
Yeah.
literally build like a steamboat.
Yeah.
And she kind of, and she does this through like, and she actually helps them out.
Yeah.
And so I don't really get like, so why does hers and Anya Capone's actually, why do their homes have to be destroyed? They weren't at all involved.
Because they're in the
and
way.
actually
Because
even
they're in the way.
Armin was like,
Because they're in the
no,
way.
Marley, Liberio's like way
It's
before
not just Marley. That's the problem.
I mean,
It's a
if
whole
they
world.
destroyed
Allied forces.
if they destroyed the world powers like Marley, they could actually
They would
strategically
rebuild.
have.
They would rebuild.
Not really.
They
There's
would.
other things.
They rebuilt in 3
There's,
years. They had airplanes and everything in
talk
3
about, like,
years. They had airplanes in 3 years.
I mean, I guess that's probably due to Kiyomi, and also that could be
They
because
rebuilt.
Kiyomi was the first prototype, made the first prototype that ended up sinking.
Yeah.
Or-
In 3 years, they had airplanes flying in the sky.
I mean,
3
yeah.
years. So give them 10 more. They're ready to go.
I mean, this is actually I was thinking actually they could have probably I was actually I believe there's Foxen. I know that most people don't like him. He does end up trying to, but there's also a plan he brought up, and I feel like it's actually kind of not a too much bad of a plan, where it's saying about how he causes a rumbling and he basically forces everybody into like some kind of not a UN, but basically a world treaty. And he basically shows the legitimate threat of the rumbling and even causes like major destruction with it in drying up some of their ports. Because without, and like Yelena said, without some of their ships, most of them are crippled anyways, unless they're.
Use the airships and the planes.
Yeah, and
That Aaron
they
did not destroy.
only, and Zeke actually destroyed
Yeah, he
partially.
destroyed
Also.
some of them, not all of them.
I mean, I don't know about. Actually, wait, did they destroy all the? I actually didn't.
We don't have
account.
confirmation that they destroyed them all, so there's no way to know. But I don't
But
think
the
he
thing
did.
is also,
We only
it's
saw
just
like
like
3 or
saying-
4. We only saw like 5 or 6 fall. It was way more than that.
I mean, the point is that.
Yeah, they destroyed
I
the
mean-
ports when they destroyed the ports when
Yeah.
Armin attacked, and they still
Yeah.
attacked 3 years later.
3 years.
Not even 3 later. My bad. 3 months
3 months. How do they attack 3 months later?
from when they attacked Libero. What was the time difference from when they attacked Libero to when they counterattacked?
A century?
Yeah. Wait, what? A century?
Are you talking about
When
like
Armin
the?
destroyed the ports.
Oh, okay. So that was actually a month.
A
Because
month. A
they were
singular
mostly
month.
that was mostly them using their resources because they
So
were.
they were able to
most of
attack
their
off a
resources-
singular month. You telling me they couldn't have done it in 10 years?
What do you mean?
If they were able to counterattack in 1 month, you telling me they
They
wouldn't
were-
have been able to do it in 10 years?
Well, I mean, you could argue. Let me actually get the argument out of you. Let me get the argument out here. It's just they were mostly relying on airships, and actually, the strategic reason that they set it within Marley. I mean, not within Marley, within that basically ghetto that was filled with Eldians was to basically bring up the plight of the Eldians and point Paradisians as the true devils. that was their whole thing. That was like trying to paint the Eldians, the true quote unquote Eldians, as the righteous ones, the ones who were doing their heroic things, and they were being victimized. Meanwhile, the people on Paradise were killing really their own people. Most of the people who Eren, or well, actually, yes, Eren, Mikasa, Armin, Sean, a lot of these people ended up killing was their own people, Eldians. And that was precisely Wiley's point, that he wanted to kill Eldian to make them seem as
okay, but
unsympathetic
what does
as
that have to
possible.
do with what we were saying before? I'm not saying I'm not arguing any of that. All I'm saying is that if
They-
Marley
they
was able
didn't-
to if Marley was able to mount
They didn't
a
have
counterattack in
putting
1 month.
every single one of their resources into fighting the Eldians.
Okay,
They weren't doing
I understand that, but they were ready to go in 1 month.
because they didn't have all of their resources
I'm saying
destroyed.
10 years, my boy. You talking about 1 month? I'm talking about 10 years. They have.
But the thing
you
is
telling
also
me that they would not be able to mount a counterattack in 10 years.
No, because
Why?
again, because this is not like where Liberio or like where they didn't have a ton of their actual forces beyond like maybe the Warhammer Titan, which didn't even help them anyways. It wasn't like the Warhammer Titan where taking the Warhammer Titan was a symbolic gesture that Eren wasn't messing around, and that he was going to kill like the Titans basically and consume them and basically prove that he's the devil that everybody thought he was, and that it was basically to show that it was the devil that it was more of a problem with, oh yeah, he's the devil that we thought he was. He killed the Warhammer Titan from the Tiber family, who's the most well-respected family, even out of all, not just out of Eldians, but out of people full stop. And he inspired Wiley's death, and subsequently his sister's death, ended up inspiring many of these people to, fight
Yes.
fight for against Paradise.
Right.
And it's not like a lot of their forces were crippled. Only the ports, yes, were crippled, and so were many of the ships, but they still have airships. They still have a lot of their soldiers that haven't been killed, or they were not stationed in Liberio. So it's not as if they had no
so basically
resources.
what you're saying is Eren destroyed everything completely, obliterated everything 100%, and they wouldn't have been able to rebuild in 10 years. So how long would it take? How was their airplanes 3 years later?
Because this is actually, I think it actually has to do partially with the ambassador situation that Armin is working with, and I think that also has to do with like
anything? If they have airplanes within 3 years, they have airplanes.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that they wouldn't be able to build more of those airplanes? You think that was the only one in 3 years?
I mean, I'm not saying that there's like the only airplane. That seems like kind of a weird point to focus on a bit.
If Eren's dead, all they need is airplanes and Parady's done.
But they also have Kiyomi, who is now fully willing to, even without resources, from her indication by with her talk on the boat, she's willing to help them grow technologically, and we see that with the 8 pages that she's
Which
willing
would take
to
50 years, not 3.
Yeah, but
3.
also consider that most of their military force is eliminated,
They
and
can't
like
stop a plane.
but also
they
there's
can't
one
stop a
thing.
plane.
Armin's
not a
like,
Titan anymore.
so he's the one who's known to kill Eren Yeager, even if
Who
he.
cares?
Why do people love Tiber so much? Why do they love the Tiber family so much? Who cares about?
Because they have insights on the rumbling, but the rumbling can't happen anymore.
What? No, the reason that Tiber was so loved was because he betrayed his country. He was the Helos. He was literally the guy who's everybody's like, you know what?
Yes,
This guy is a true hero.
But he was seen as valuable because of the reason why they respect and listen to him and what he said was because he was able to. He's the reason why they wanted to attack Aaron in the first place, is because he's the one who put that fear in them of the rumbling, and the rumbling was holding
Aaron
them back.
also technically
The
can help
rumbling
by
is what was
confirming it.
the rumbling was what was holding them back from attacking this whole time, was the rumbling. The only reason why they weren't attacking already, regardless of what Willie said, is because they were afraid of the rumbling. And Willie told them that the rumbling about to happen, so we gotta go. That was Willie's argument. But now the
And
rumbling
also
can
Aaron
never happen. The rumbling can't happen no more. Because Titans are gone. So what's stopping
The
them
thing is,
now?
Again, the thing is, the point
Because
about
Armin
Armin
said
is
so?
not
Honest?
because
Really?
Armin says so. It's
Really?
because Armin is like,
Because Armin
he's
said so.
the-
Because Armin said he killed Aaron when they didn't see it.
I mean, he was seen at the final battle, and he was Mikasa, Levi,
But he
Reiner, a
didn't,
lot of
they
these
didn't
guys.
see they didn't see him kill him. But let's say he did, whatever. Let's say he saw him kill him. If Armin saw them, if they saw Armin kill him and they believe that he killed Aaron, okay, who fucking cares? Aaron just destroyed the
Because
80% of the world.
Because it
80% of the
basically
world was
also
destroyed
points-
by an Eldian. If they hated Eldians before, on what they might do. Now they've actually done it. And they don't
Yeah.
hate them anymore?
because Aaron's actions and subsequently Armin, Mikasa, and everybody's actions prove that
Y'all saw
not
that?
everybody was on the side of Aaron. They showed that, the people, and actually 130,
You think they didn't know that?
134,
You think they didn't know that already?
134 is basically saying about how, what is it called again? 134 is basically saying how Aaron, and actually even like, what is his name? What is that guy's commander's name? I forgot his name. But he basically said how we understand that we did something wrong and we birthed this monster that we see. But we want to
Yeah.
try to make amends. And while
How
I
can he
might,
speak for all of them?
because most of them just saw literally.
He
There's,
can't
like,
speak.
flash
He
book-
literally cannot speak for all of them.
I mean, I guess true. But the thing is, it's just, I'm talking about, like, say, Aaron's, like, what is it called again? I'm talking about Aaron's, like, perspective on, like, he's, from everybody's perspective on Aaron, he is the one who's causing this ultimate thing to happen. And even up to the last moment, they're still, like, demeaning Eldians and stuff. Of course they are. They're still, like, it's not like racism suddenly doesn't exist because it, but they don't blame Eldians necessarily for the rumbling itself, and they don't blame, and
So
they
you're
don't
telling me
blame
the world became more logical and tolerant of Eldians because the reason why they hated Eldians this whole time happened. They hated them before for what they might do,
Yeah,
and then they did it, and they don't hate them,
Armin did it.
and they don't hate them.
And that's actually, and Armin's like, the entire thing is that Armin, Mikasa, and everybody.
That makes no sense, bro. That makes
No.
zero sense. Why would you hate someone for
was the
something they
person
might
to-
do, but not when they do it?
But the thing is, Aaron again. They
We
are
know
blaming.
Aaron did,
not-
but Aaron is an Eldian.
Yeah, but and they literally point this out in 134, I believe. 134, they literally point out how, the people who are fighting back against them and are able to actually fight back are not Marlians, who are like, we are like the ones who are killing everybody,
Yeah.
but Eldians.
Okay, so how
the
about
ones who
we don't kill those Marlians? We don't kill those Eldians, but the rest of them.
I mean, they could, unlike Tiber, or Wily Tiber, Armin could actually advocate, as unsuccessful it might or might not be, for the
Who cares?
I guess, legitimacy
Literally,
of the.
who cares what Armin has to say? Literally, who gives a fuck?
I mean, he saved the. According to these guys,
He didn't save the
and
world. 80% of it died. That's not saving, brother.
I mean, he saved the remaining
He
of
saved
the
the
world.
remaining, but he didn't save the world. No, he did not. That's not saving at all. He failed completely miserably. If you want to say saved, he saved the rest of us. But what about my grandma that just got stomped to the dust?
It's not like he. It's not like he wanted. It's not like he was actively supporting the
No,
rumblings
it's
since
not
day
like
one.
I know he wasn't, but I don't care. I do not care. If you want to give him a pass, fine. But the rest of these motherfuckers, who I hated before, but now have actually done something worthy of my hatred, are going to die. As soon as I get an airplane, I'm bombing them all.
Except,
And I have an airplane in 3 years.
Except the thing is, again, like I was saying, they don't see. Again, these action by Aaron was seen as so monstrous, and his announcement to the rest of the world
Oh yeah,
seems so
they helped and they
monstrous.
did help Aaron. They helped Aaron when he came to Libero. They helped him.
They wanted him. They wanted to. Actually,
Yeah,
yes, you could
they helped him. So they literally
weren't.
watched Armin destroy. He literally killed hella people,
I mean, to be
kids and
fair,
all.
I don't think a lot of people were able to see.
Oh, they're not able to see that, but they're able to see him kill Aaron. Convenient.
I mean, they didn't see either one.
Convenient. No. You said
I
that.
mean,
You said they did. You said they
I
believe
mean,
him, but they know the
yeah,
colossal. They know the colossal
I mean,
explosion is
they'll
what.
be able to latch onto, again, like they said for Helos, they'll be able to latch onto somebody who they think saved them.
So
Who,
Armin is forgiven. Armin is forgiven for destroying half of the city.
I mean, he destroyed the port, but
he
yeah,
destroyed them. He's forgiven.
also, actually, now that I'm looking back at 134, there's real Ymir lookalikes. I might Isayama. I mean, he's not like. There's some times where he basically just like kind of doesn't do the best with his art work.
Or his
Well,
writing.
I mean, I still have like a point for his writing. His writing has been actually 131. Also, I really like where he was saying, actually, you know what? I'm gonna actually bring up 131. We haven't actually bring up, but the point about 131 is that he said that his point about 131 is that he is very much in the, yes, it was for Eldia, but for more than that, and he did say more than that, that the world he saw inside the world he saw outside was nothing like he saw inside Armin's book. And he's basically saying about how seeing that sight and seeing everything would make that person the most free. What happens to actually find this interesting. What happens to Armin like in 139? He sees the lakes of lava, lakes of frozen oceans of frozen ice. So
Which means Aaron could have seen it without completing the rumbling.
I mean, it could be also that this is an interesting point that I actually didn't consider until like everybody's gonna probably say invaders, but I'll just bring it up anyways. Invaders, he brought up an excellent point about how Aaron isn't so much, or rather, Girisha isn't so much seeing the future, so much as he's seeing like what like an out of body experience of what Aaron is seeing. He's seeing what Aaron is choose to show him, and actually found that because it's like in like 131 or not 131, 121, 122. He's saying about how that out of body experience he's like seeing is not him seeing Aaron, but him seeing himself in it's basically like seeing himself in the mirror, which is why he's so terrified in chapter 1 looking at outside.
So why'd he give Aaron the Titan?
Oh, that's easy. Because Carla's death made him go insane. He was repeatedly chanting her name. I mean, it did happen. The reason he said, "Avenge your mother, Carla."
So he was insane. That's why he gave Aaron the Titan, because he was insane. Really, bro?
I wouldn't say he gone insane, but I feel like his rational mind did
Really,
try
bro?
to be.
Come on, bro.
I mean, he did mention like Carla. The reason he gave the Titan to Aaron was because he wanted him to avenge Carla and to get back at the world. At first, he was saying this was a disgusting thing.
He was literally begging Zeke. He was literally begging Zeke to not let him do it.
Yeah, because it was an awful sight that he saw the entire world being destroyed.
So why did he give Aaron the Titan?
Because he just saw his wife. Because he had heard that his wife had died, and that he literally had, if he had stayed over instead of, and he's basically like, in that moment, he's like, he's angry and emotionally driven, saying, I want to make them pay, basically. He
didn't have to give Aaron the Titan. He could have gave it to anybody else. He could have gave it to Erwin. Could have gave it to Levi. Could have gave it to Mikasa. Why did he give it to Aaron?
Firstly, Levi, and because of his anger, because he was angry at the world
So
for them.
he knew what Aaron was gonna do. Who cares if he's angry?
What do you mean? He was angry at first. He wasn't
And why
going
does he?
to.
What? He didn't. Aaron didn't even avenge Carla.
I mean, he technically. I mean, I guess you could technically say it. But
Carla was already avenged because the person who turned Dina into the Titan that killed Carla was already dead. So she was technically already avenged.
I mean, Carla was technically avenged in chapter 50.
No,
Where
you can't blame
because,
a Titan for being a Titan. The Titan is just like an animal. You blame the person who sent the Titan, who was the dude who turned her into a Titan. That's who sent her.
I mean, yeah, Gross. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was already dead, so he was already avenged. She was already avenged. That's not even if you want to headcanon that, because it's not said in the story, even if you want to headcanon that, it's already your headcanon doesn't even make sense. So you don't have any reason as to why Grisha gave Aaron that Titan, and I don't blame you.
Is with the rest of the world. His anger is with the rest of the world.
Then why was he crying? Because Aaron was going to destroy it. Sounds like he'd be on his side.
Because he at first was disgusted by obviously seeing the 1.1 billion people at least.
At first, he was against it the whole time. He was against it in paths when the Cringe Avengers came and he joined them.
Cringe Avengers. What? Why is that ever?
You know who I'm talking about.
Like,
they were Grisha was not. Grisha was against the rumbling. Grisha was 100% against the rumbling.
You're talking about 100%?
Yes, Grisha was 100% against the rumbling.
Okay, that's actually okay. That's also something I can explain. The reason that he decides to help is that now he's not clouded by his judgment, and also
why is he not clouded now? What happened? He got character development while he was dead off screen?
No, that's not what happened.
Then when did he get the character development?
He didn't get the. He's not in the same circumstances, and also he's in.
He is in the same circumstances. He was in paths when he was talking to Zeke.
He was talking.
He was in paths when Aaron talked to him. He's in paths at the end.
Actually, no, he wasn't in paths when Aaron was talking to him. He was in paths only when
Well, he got the message through paths.
It's more like he. It's more like he was hearing like. It was more like he was hearing like. Or hearing and seeing himself. It's not necessarily this. I might have to actually like talk about it.
See, my argument for that scene, which I guess you could say, to try to help you out here, is I would say that Aaron was controlling what Zeke saw to manipulate Zeke. But even then, it's like, why would he manipulate? What do you mean by manipulate? If he was going to manipulate him, because he had Grisha embrace him and all that shit. I think that Aaron has something to do with that. But that was my theory. But the thing that makes that not make sense is, if that were the case, why would he tell him not to give him the Titan? If anything, he'd tell him to give him the Titan, to do it, because it was the best option. He would make Grisha put that in Zeke's mind so Zeke will work with Aaron. I don't know why. That would have made perfect sense to me for Zeke to voluntarily go with Aaron based on what Grisha said, rather than him saying don't do it no matter what. So that makes it not make sense. Even still,
even till the end,
there's literally no way to make it. There's no way to make it make sense. There's no way to make it make sense why Grisha gave him that Titan. Why Grisha gave him that Titan? There's no way.
I mean, there is. I just said it.
You headcanoned it, and it didn't make sense.
He said literally that he went inside. He went insane. He literally said avenge Carla because he was wanting to. He wasn't so caring about in that moment what the rest of the world was feeling or dealing with.
What did he say when he gave Aaron the Titan?
Avenge Carla.
That's not all he said.
And basically,
that's not all he said.
Well, yeah, that's not all he said.
No, that's not what he said. He said protect Armin and Mikasa too, didn't he?
Yeah, sure.
That's exactly what he said. So clearly, avenging Carla was not really.
I mean, it's not like he didn't say everything.
Everyone's lives rests on you controlling this power. That's what he said.
Yeah.
So clearly, he wasn't talking about avenging. It was talking about defending.
I mean, you can do more than one thing. He was avenging Carla by getting back at the world, and also protecting Aaron and Mikasa by keeping them outside of outside of the conflict, and also he could also be he's also repeating the words that what is it called again, that Kruger mentioned to him. Actually, speaking of which, can I get to mention how good Kruger is as a protagonist? Kruger was like a really good character. I feel like you should get a story about him or something, like a
Yeah,
backstory about how.
I think Kruger is a good character until you can tell me how the fuck he got the Attack Titan.
I mean, wait, what do you mean?
How'd he get it?
He got it through. He got it through manipulate. He got it through eating the previous Attack Titan.
They didn't give it to him. They didn't know he had it.
Yeah, but
No.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay,
they didn't even know where the Attack Titan was, and
exactly.
the owl.
So how'd he get it?
They didn't suspect the owl.
So how'd he get it?
I mean, I'm not
Nobody
sure.
knows. Nobody knows. Plot hole. But it's all right. You know.
I mean,
Other than that, yeah,
like
he's a good character.
I mean, it's. I mean, I don't say necessarily that's a plot hole, though. I feel like if you could, I don't say it's necessarily a plot hole. It's just something that's doesn't really need to be explained.
Just
because
well,
an RTS,
just because it doesn't need to be explained, I mean, it's not a plot hole. I mean, it doesn't make sense how he got the Titan. It literally doesn't make sense.
I mean, he consumed the previous Titan shifter.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But we don't know how. We have no idea how he was able to do that. Where did he find a serum to inject himself to consume the Titan?
Marley has so many of them.
Yeah. So, where did was they just sitting in a room together? Like, it's too much questions because Marley has control of that. Marley had control of that Titan. So where did he get it?
Marley. I mean, they said they were looking for where the Attack Titan was, and they had no idea where it went even before. And the owl, the reason that he went as the owl is because he could basically betray his. What is it called again? Betray his what is it called? They could betray basically betray his people while also not being suspected as the owl. And he was basically looking for. So basically, with how clockwork he felt, I feel like you could also say that this is canon, admittedly, that he was put into a similar situation that he put Grisha up to, that he was basically forced into either consuming him or dying to the Titans, and he repeated the cycle, and also you could. Repeated the cycle that was previously to give it to Grisha so he could give it to Eren. Well, Eren Yeager. It was basic.
Because something. Hold on. Let me clarify something for the chat. Just because something is not important to the plot does not mean that it's not a plot hole. For example. Yes, you could. For example, Berto kicking down the wall then disappearing is a plot hole.
I mean, didn't they say that he has?
But it's not important to the plot. You can still enjoy the story. It still makes sense. That is a fucking plot hole.
He has the power to literally evaporate his entire body at will. And
how did no one see him?
Because he literally admitted it from every angle till he was literally nothing.
How did he get inside of the walls? No one saw him.
Wait, no one. Wait, what time are you talking about? Are you talking about
both times? No one saw him.
Oh, 8:45 and 8:50?
I don't know. You're talking about the years. Yeah, both times.
What do you mean you didn't know that?
No one saw him. Both times.
Because he was literally being carried by... Wasn't he being carried by Annie and stuff to the walls? And basically that's why he
after he kicked them.
Yeah, but I'm just... My point is that... I'm not sure what you I'm still a little bit confused by what you mean.
I'm just saying it's a plot hole.
That nobody saw him fall out of the walls. I'm not say go out of his Titan form. What do you mean?
Yeah, no one saw him go out of his Titan form and survive and move. Nobody saw him. It's a plot hole. He vanished. Eren literally swung his blade and didn't see anything.
You're talking about, that's 8:50. But anyway, the reason that he did that is because nobody was beyond that. He's able to evaporate his Titan body very quickly.
But not teleport. He would have to use ODM gear.
And how does he? Yeah, he does have it.
No one heard or saw.
Because there's a huge amount of steam that's emitting from the Titan.
It doesn't stretch across the entire wall.
No, but it would
So
be
then
enough
they
to
would've
like
saw it.
distract them, and most people were looking at the emission of the mission of what
But
is it
not
called
all
again?
of them.
The Colossal Titan,
But
anyways.
not
So
all
most
of
of them
them.
would. Yeah, but most of them would probably be focused on it, and also I don't really see how this is a plot hole
That's
because he'd basically
100% plot hole.
he'd basically be putting all of his attention on the Colossal Titan. Anybody
That's not
who's
there
looking,
anymore. That's not there anymore.
but he was emitting steam, and then when everybody's like
ODM
getting
gear
back,
makes noise.
basically be,
ODM gear makes noise. You would have heard it.
but he could have, while it's emitting steam, he
He's
can,
not
you
emitting
know,
steam anymore after he was gone.
uh, he could have, when it's emitting steam, he could have, you know, evaporated the entire body.
We
He could have like
have never seen anyone in Attack on Titan do that. Evaporate the entire body in a millisecond like that. It's never been done.
because it wasn't a millisecond.
It was
B,
basically a millisecond.
it was more like 10, 12 seconds, but okay. Anyway, the reason that he was able to do that is because they have specific abilities as the Colossal Titan. The Colossal Titan
can just do that. No other Titan can do it. And it's never.
Yeah, because he has the ability to emit.
And he can also make his ODM gear
to emit
make
steam.
no noise.
That's hence why he's like.
His ODM gear make no noise.
It's not that he make noise. It's that the amount of noise that would be made by the ODM gear would just be silenced by the amount of sound
goes across the wall. As he goes across the wall.
Yeah. So it's like it would basically be even if they were like able to like say see it. Most of the people were over the wall and wouldn't be able to see what was happening with Bertolt and Reiner and everybody.
There's
anyways.
no way on this planet that they would not have seen a goddamn dude ODM gearing away from the where the Colossal Titan just was, bro. There's no fucking way they'd be able to do that. And there's a hole right there. There's literally no way. They would have had to have seen somebody, and maybe if they couldn't identify him, but they would have had to have seen him.
Well, why would they suspect anything of it?
They wouldn't suspect it, but they would have saw it.
I mean,
they wouldn't have suspected, but they would have saw it.
I mean, then if they didn't suspect it and they could have saw it, you could have argued that they didn't know about it, but they did see it, so they didn't. But it wasn't in focus, so we didn't see it. You could argue that too, couldn't you?
No,
I mean,
think so.
Just because they didn't think anything of it, and they just like, oh yeah, what? Oh yeah, wait, you're a soldier. Wait, let's get into let's get you onto serving the rest of Tross, so you guys aren't doing it. It's like, yes, sir. Then they would have basically just gone, and they wouldn't have thought anything of it. I don't really see again how that's a plot hole even. It's like, because it would just literally be. Because yes, the Colossal Titan has been confirmed to literally use its skin to emit steam. It's literally shown in RTS. It's just that for like, what is it called again? For 845 and 850, he's like doing it very quickly, and he's not concerned about, oh yeah, defending himself against Titans, or because he knows that Reiner and Annie, for better or worse, have his back and are going to prevent him from getting hurt. And even if they don't, he's got the ability to fight Titans. And if he's seen fending off a Titan, at least in 850, they're not going to think anything of it. They'll just think, oh, he's a guy who's like a soldier, a cadet who's like fighting the Titans. He was one of the first people on the scene.
Yeah, but they didn't even make that acknowledgement.
I mean, they made a lot of other acknowledgments. They mentioned Warrior. They mentioned Reiner
not being looking down at it too. Yeah, let's see.
So
God, they don't show the whole thing.
So basically, they show like They basically show Reiner as like. They mention a lot of other clues that point to, like, say, Reiner and Bertolt being the Colossal or Armored Titan and Colossal Titan, respectively. Like, beyond just looks, they also seem to talk a lot about a home that they've never heard anybody else talk about. They've also, or nobody else share besides Annie, Bertolt, and Reiner. Because, I mean, I guess I can see where other problems come from, but
he's dead ass looking at the wall, bro.
Yeah, so?
There's no way in this planet that they wouldn't have seen them, bro.
There's like a solid.
There's no way.
Are you talking about Aaron not seeing war?
Aaron and anyone else.
Oh,
that was
so here's something that people. There's a lot of hollow spots in the walls. That's also something. They bring that up in RTS and stuff because there's a lot of hollow spots in the walls that they can't. That like, and even Reiner actually brings this up where he's like hiding in basically so he can stab a soldier. There's hollow points in the wall that he can hide in.
I guess. I don't know how.
I mean,
I don't know how the world that could have happened, and Aaron's looking right at him. But
I mean,
right.
He literally emitted a lot of steam, and most of the people who were there were on the other side of the walls.
All right. I'll give you another plot hole then, since you don't think that's a plot hole. I'll give you another one. Annie, killing. Well, Reiner sending Annie to kill the Titans they had in captivity. No, the Titans they had in captivity.
Oh, yeah.
Is a plot hole.
Why?
Because there's no reason for them to kill those Titans at all.
They didn't want them to learn literally the truth about the.
How would they learn
about the truth about the Titans?
You can't learn that from You can't learn that from Titans.
And also, they don't want. They also don't want to learn. They also don't want them to learn about how to say combat Titans.
They already knew that. They already knew that. They already knew to clear the kill of Nape.
The only thing that they knew
was to kill
up to that point was Nape, and also that they're very reactive to sunlight.
What else? What else are they gonna learn?
I mean, they could possibly trace it back.
What?
They go. I mean, if they ended up getting really advanced, I guess they could also try to test what is it called again? I don't know if there would be DNA
there was
or
nothing
necessarily.
They could have learned from those Titans, bro.
I mean,
nothing.
I mean, I don't know. There is still stuff they could learn.
No, there was nothing. It was a plot hole.
Actually, wait. They could also learn how to like. They can also conduct experiments. They can conduct how fast they regenerate. They can also.
They already knew that. They already knew how fast they regenerated.
The entire point is that they don't know that they generally have a pretty inconsistent.
They knew how fast they regenerated. They knew that already. They knew everything they possibly could have learned from those Titans. They already knew. There's not one single thing you can name that they could have learned from those Titans.
Hey, 1 second.
They couldn't get the spinal fluid, but Blake, there's no way they could have known that the spinal fluid would turn them into Titans. And even if they did, they didn't have shifters. So, there's no way they would have known that.
I mean, the thing is, they can learn about it. The thing there's something I actually wanted to bring up.
There's no way they could know that if we inject this Titan spinal fluid in us, that we will turn into Titans. There is no fucking way they would have ever figured that out. Who would have even been the subject to test that? There's no way they would have figured that out.
I mean, Hanji, especially early on, was like kind of the person who was like.
They had Aaron, but they didn't know Aaron was a shifter. They had no idea why Aaron was a Titan at that time. They just thought the nigga was chosen. Yeah. They had no fucking clue why
he was like. Actually, Pixis's like thing is saying that he was a Titan. He was the forefront of scientific experimentation, and that
he said that to the people so that they would believe in him, but he didn't know why. He was lying so that they would believe and fight for him. Yeah. He didn't really know why. Nobody fucking knew why he was a Titan at that time. And so again, there was no reason. They
can also differentiate.
Exactly,
why,
they learned more about the Titans getting killed than they ever would have learned. If they had just let them alone, they wouldn't even have suspected that there were traitors among them. The whole reason why they suspected traitors at all, the whole reason why they led the expedition was because of that.
I believe.
No.
Yeah, you did. I believe the meeting with Erwin and Reiner and Bertolt about that was before.
No, it was after the Titans died. It was after. It wasn't
And
until the Titans
also,
died.
hmm,
Sorry, brother.
I mean, I
It's a
was
plot hole.
I
It's
still
okay.
would say
It's
it's a plot
okay. It's a
hole.
long story. Every story has plot holes at some point. It's a plot hole though. It's okay.
So, I wouldn't say necessarily. Oh, also, there's actually one explanation for it. If you want to hear that,
What?
you know those theories like you know those like thing about how oh yeah, don't give a what is it called again? Uh, like basically don't give anything kind of, but if they'll give more. So I think that is, and while I do understand actually where your point comes from, where it's basically is like, oh yeah, they basically learned a lot more. I don't think they had a really ability to think that or know about that.
Who?
All they knew that was there was Titans inside, and actually
Yes, but they knew
they didn't even
everything
know.
that they knew
They didn't
everything.
know.
They knew no. Annie and Reiner and Bert had trained with them. They knew everything that they knew about Titans. They already knew what they knew, and they knew about
No,
Titans
I mean they didn't know
themselves.
that they were reactive to sunlight or that they were.
They did know that. They know they didn't move at night. Yes,
No,
they did know that.
no, I'm talking about they didn't know that because until the Titan experiments, technically, they didn't know that necessarily that. And actually, this was reason why there's so much secrecy in the say what is it called again in the Scout Regiment because they didn't know how much they knew about the Titans.
Yeah, they didn't
Beyond
know
like,
how much
oh
they
yeah,
knew about Titans. That's true. But Reiner and Annie did, and Bert did. They knew how much they knew about Titans. They knew.
they knew that they would be reactive.
Huh? No, I'm saying Annie and
No, I
Reiner
mean
and
like
Bert
because
knew.
that would be because what they tried to do is probably out of fear, out of what they can learn, because they obviously the reason, like you
Like
said,
what? What could they learn? They already knew everything about Titans that they possibly could have learned from those Titans. They already knew everything. There was nothing they could. There was absolutely nothing they could have learned.
I mean, there could be also the fear of also learning about it. There's also the possibility that whatever they did learn, I guess, was too much, and they wanted to make sure
Like
that
what?
whatever they did
Like
learn,
what? Like what?
like either they could be like subdued in sun with the
They
lack
knew
of
that
sunlight,
already. They
and
knew that already. They knew that already.
no,
Yes, they did.
they didn't.
They did know that.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they
They
did.
specifically came about because of Hanji's experiments
They
on the
said
Titans.
Titans don't move at night.
Yeah, and they only
They
do
knew
that because of
that.
at night, and also it was also questioned with with Zeke making a ton of Titans in like
Yes,
season
then they
2.
were like, what the fuck? But they knew that already. They knew that before they captured those Titans, bro. They learned nothing from those Titans.
Hmm. You know, actually, you know what? I'm gonna bring up no regrets again. Sometimes, I guess, for them, it's more of about the issue of, say, what they could have than what they do actually have, because like in the like in Uprising and No Regrets, they basically didn't have anything until like literally the guys ended up just basically giving them the evidence to do it. And I think that actually that would probably be a ploy to try to get weed out anybody who would be traitors, because they start to suspect people who are trading them or
They
betraying
would have
them.
never had to suspect that if they didn't kill the Titans.
Yeah, but they were trying to make it seem like they had more information than they did, or they get more information out of the Titans than they would.
Huh?
That could have very easily convinced that, oh yeah, wait, these guys are threatening. What are we gonna do about it? And Reiner's basically like, you have to kill them. And
They
basically
weren't
because
threatened. There was no threat. Those Titans were no threat to them whatsoever. They had no reason to kill those Titans. They had absolutely
in
not
the
one
moment,
singular
in
reason.
hindsight, yes.
No,
But
not
you're
in
but
hindsight.
you're
In that moment, they knew everything that they knew about Titans. They knew everything that the Scouts knew about Titans. There was nothing that the Scouts could have learned from normal fucking Titans.
But again, there's something that but something that they don't necessarily.
Why can't you just
It's
admit it's a plot hole, bro?
because
Okay.
why is it that it's something that like
It's not
no
the end of
offense
the
to you,
world.
but why is it something that I'm trying to explain? You're saying, oh yeah, it's a plot hole. I'm saying that.
You're not
I'm
explaining it. You're just headcanon in it. But I'm going
I
on what's
mean,
on the pages. You're giving a theory as to why they did, and I'm telling you what the story told us,
which was,
which
I guess,
was Reiner and Annie and Bert know everything that the scouts know about Titans. They know everything that they know, correct? Because
they
trained
know
with them.
everything that they know about, like, till about, what is it called again? They know everything that they know up until around, what is it called again? The end of, relatively at the end of Trost, when they started to suspect somebody to actually, like, betray them.
They didn't
So that's
suspect
what,
betrayal. The scouts did not expect betrayal until those
I mean,
Titans
they
were
did
killed.
kind of keep Aaron's, like, Titancy a secrecy to even the scout members, and
Yeah,
many of
because they didn't know how
John and
to. They
everybody
didn't
was.
know how to handle it. That's that they
I
didn't know how
mean,
to handle it.
John also himself said that, oh yeah, I was basically sworn to secrecy to not say anything about what happened, and the fact that Aaron literally turned into a gigantic Titan.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of time, and actually, and that's why Erwin brought up saying, who do you think the real enemy is? Because it's saying, because this, I guess, because this was a way to weed out. I mean, it is a convenient way, like you said, to it actually ended up weeding out Annie and eventually Reiner and
If they
Bertold as
hadn't done
traitors.
that, they would have never suspected traitors
I mean, they did suspect traitors. They just
until
didn't
after the
suspect
Titans were destroyed.
Annie.
Yeah,
They
right. But
just didn't expect.
they didn't expect traitors at all until the Titans were killed. They didn't expect any traitors.
Then how was that a plot hole? It's just like,
It's
again,
not a plot hole for them to not expect traitors because there's no reason for them to expect traitors. So there's not a plot hole. That's not the plot hole. The plot hole is that Annie and Bert and Reiner had no reason to kill those Titans, but they did it anyway because because the story wanted there to be a suspicion of a traitor. That's the plot hole.
again, like I was saying before, there was already a suspicion of a traitor.
No, there wasn't.
Yeah.
When?
You don't think like Armin was suspecting somebody else of being
No,
somebody else of being a traitor?
he wasn't.
He was. And
No, he
also
wasn't.
and during Trost actually, I believe Trost, he was looking at Annie, Reiner, and Bertolt very closely and actually was kind of confused to
No.
what. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
And also
No.
Connie was weirded out by the fact that it was like, Connie was weirded out by the fact that, like, why did you bring up, like, Reiner? Why'd you bring up the Attack Titan? Or, well, no, he didn't call it the Attack Titan, but he called it the Titan. Why'd you bring up the Titan who's fighting us? We need to focus on more important things. And
Because
he's
it was
like,
a
yeah,
good
you're
fucking
probably.
plan to use
What do you
that
mean?
Titan to attack the other Titans. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about. It was like he was. Reiner was saying to Connie, what did Aaron, well, Aaron as a Titan form look like, and basically what he was doing. I was saying, when I was saying about how Aaron was, I was saying, like, what is Aaron's, like, say, what is this Titan form like? What is this, like, what is he doing? It's like, what does that matter? He literally saved our asses. Let's go in and, like, take down the Titans inside the supply facility.
It was a good plan. They all agreed that it was a good plan. Armin agreed, Mika's agreed, everybody agreed. It was nothing weird about that. It was a good plan. Nobody thought Reiner was a traitor because he came up with a good ass plan.
Reiner
Nobody
didn't come up with a plan. What? I'm kind of confused. What? Reiner didn't come up with the plan, but whatever.
He agreed with the plan.
He didn't agree with it. He didn't even. Did he even have a choice in the matter? He wasn't like.
So why are you bringing it up then?
You know what? My point is that it's just there was suspected traitors even earlier. It's even before that. That just I feel like
there's not one single moment in the story where they suspected being betrayed until those Titans were killed, brother. It's not one moment.
Actually,
not one singular moment.
Let's
I mean, it's really not that big of a deal. I mean, it's just to move the plot forward. I don't really care, but it's definitely a plot hole, like 150% plot hole.
Hmm.
But it's okay. I mean, plot holes happen. Plot holes happen. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. God. Just looking at this. One sec. Let's.
Isayama is definitely a genius, man. What
Whatever.
is Slap on Titan? I don't even know what that is.
Oh, Slap on Titan. Oh, that's like the parody. Basically, beats Armin to a psychopath and like Eren into like a normal kid. Basically, Armin becomes the Crimson King, and like basically becomes a dick. It's actually kind of funny. Not gonna lie.
What the fuck?
It's I'd say it's probably one of the better made. And then there's SAO abridged actually. Actually, though, I want to ask you. Let me ask you a few questions on the 8 pages, though. Actually, you want me to ask you that?
You said what?
8 pages. The additional pages that Isayama included that he wasn't able to include in the original manga.
What about him?
I don't really get, why do you hate them? Doesn't that kind of, prove your point, I guess?
Why do I hate the 8 pages? Well, I didn't say I hated the 8 pages. I hate the original release of 139. I don't necessarily hate the 8 pages, but I do hate. I hate that they represent. I hate what they represent, and what they represent is inconsistency and a lack of confidence. That's why I don't like them.
I mean, if he wanted to do a lack of confidence, he could have just, like had Mikasa and Eren get together. That could have happened.
That was 137 was also that. I mean, 138 was also that. A little bit.
A lack of confidence. How is that a lack of confidence?
It was a lack of confidence in the writing of his ending, because because the extra 8 pages shits on the ending of 139 completely. So if he truly believed that his story was supposed to end the way it ended, then he should have been confident.
I mean, for me, actually,
extra pages.
You know what? The point is that it's supposed to be. He can't include it in the original. He can't include in the original thing. There's like an actual physical limit to like how many manga pages that he can actually have in the volume, or not volume. There's a physical limit of how many pages he can have in the magazine.
Why did he put the end?
He put the end because regardless of whether the 8 pages exist or not, it's still the end.
It wouldn't. No, that's not the end, because there's more to the story.
Because it doesn't really. The point is,
it says the end, really, and then the end for real this time.
It doesn't really matter whether it ends at Mikasa. Mikasa looking up,
completely different stories. It's 2 completely different stories. If one story is full of optimism and hope that the world will change based on Eren's action, and the other story is no, it won't.
The point is that there would have been conflict regardless. That's been a theme of the series. Of course, there's going to be conflict regardless. There's going to be,
but that conflict doesn't have to result in everything being destroyed.
I mean, everybody didn't get destroyed. Everything didn't get destroyed.
Parody
there's still Baron
Parody
or whatever.
Got destroyed.
There's still some, and also this thing is, this also said that the reason that people would eliminate him is because they'd be fighting until there was one person left. It could either be taken as like his ability. So
therefore, Eren shouldn't have done anything.
I mean, I say that Eren shouldn't have done the rumbling, but
he shouldn't have done anything because it doesn't matter. We're all gonna fight forever anyway. Why bother? The end.
I mean,
what a great story.
That kind of is not actually. Erwin, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna bring up Erwin's speech. Erwin's speech is saying about how even everybody's going to die someday. Everything will crumble. Everything will fall. Does that make life meaningless? Of course not. Of because of it.
I
Because
didn't
the
say
things that
life was
made things.
meaningless. I'm saying putting in effort to change anything is meaningless.
But they
Why
are putting an
bother?
effort, a possible effort that might or might not change anything.
Why bother?
That is
It
what
won't
Irwin's
change it. Why
charge.
bother? It won't change it though. According to this story, it won't change it. So why bother?
That's not gonna lie, that's not exactly how I interpreted it. Maybe it's just me. But the thing is, I was saying about how the reason I was saying about how it's like Aaron is like, it's the point is about Aaron is that he's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be like, oh yeah, it's not meaningless. It doesn't happen because empires crumble. Like the Greek, the Roman Empire, the Persian Empire, the Mongols, friggin' Mongols, they crumbled.
Right.
They still, every empire crumbles with time. That's like just
That's
a
true.
thing.
So don't bother.
It's, but the thing that makes it worth living, and that what Irwin says, is being
I didn't say to live.
remembered.
I said change it.
Live and changing is so you can be remembered.
So we should have.
That is
So what? So by that logic, we should have just said, why would we stop the Nazis? Because like at the end of the day, somebody just gonna do this again in a couple years. Fuck it.
I mean, the reason that
Why
the
change
people
it?
started to go the
Why
Nazis,
sacrifice all these people's lives to change it?
because
When is
the
this gonna
people,
happen
the
again
reason
anyway?
actually, if you could probably argue in America at least, that America didn't actually join the World War II
No, I'm not talking
against
about
the
America. I'm not
Nazis
talking about
until
America. I'm not talking about America.
the reason that also they weren't trying to stop. The reason that they were actually also you might not want to charge, but the reason that they were trying to go against the Nazis was nothing to do with them being quote unquote evil, no matter how much they did it, because anti-Semitism and racism and discrimination has always been a part of it. But the only reason
Yeah,
that
but they were actually killing
they were,
people. They were killing millions and millions of people.
yeah, but
So
the
that's why
Nazis
they
just acted onto the fear, acted on the kinds of anger and hatred that were held towards either those who were Jewish, those who were, basically those who weren't this perfect, what is it called again? Basically perfect Aryan race. That's this whole point. And even in like America, they weren't unsympathetic. They were generally not like saying, "Oh yeah, let's immediately go fight them." And they, in fact, most people at the time didn't want to fight them. They only wanted to fight them when they actually started, trying to get onto, say, trying to attack Pearl Harbor, or for the British, it was basically just them. It was basically just thanks to the propagandization of this battle as both a battle of good and evil, which it was but also you got to consider that some of these to some perspectives, like say, it's not, it's basically a propagandize of a good and evil, which got people to fight against the Nazi party. That's
because they were evil.
Yeah, but it's not like it was like everybody was suddenly like, oh yeah, we're going to fight the Nazi party as soon as they did. In fact, actually Austria, they were actually like welcoming Hitler. They were
I'm not
basically
talking
welcoming
about
Hitler.
everyone. I'm talking about the people who decided to fight them. The people who decided to fight them said, fuck that. We're changing this. We are going to change this. We are actively going to go and change this problem that is happening right now. We're going to change it. And by Attack on Titan, by the logic of the story, by the logic of the story of Attack on Titan, they shouldn't have fucking bothered, because human beings will always be cruel to each other anyway. So they should have just let it happen.
Oh, the point of it is that saying that if you're saying that this is like saying about letting it happen, no,
Yeah.
That's not what Irwin argues. What Irwin argues throughout the entire thing is that
That's what.
the point of it is point of fighting, dying, this and that, is to be remembered as somebody great, somebody to by the survivors, to those who
Who the fuck
remember
said
you
anything
as like
about being remembered?
Yeah, he does. He says, literally he says about it is like the only way to rebel against the cruel world is to be remembered to have our memories carried by the survivors who we fight for. That's what he said. I mean, I can actually read his speech, actually. Irwin speech. Everything that you thought had meaning, every hope, dream, or moment of happiness, none of it matters as you lie bleeding out on the battlefield. None of it changes what a speeding rock does to a body. We all die. But does that mean our lives are meaningless? Does that mean that there was no point in being born? Would you say that of our slain comrades? What about their lives? Were they meaningless? They were not. Their memory serves as an example to us all. The courageous fallen, the anguished fallen. Their lives have meaning because we, the living, refuse to forget them. And as we ride to certain death, we trust our successors to do the same for us. How does that not say they wanted them to remember, carry their memories, so they can be able to remember, fight for them? They die so the survivors can fight for them and remember them. That's been Erwin's speech.
That is not what he meant by that speech, brother. I don't know how in the fuck in this planet Earth that you got that interpretation from that goddamn speech, bro. I really have no clue how you possibly could have got that. I just don't understand.
It's about meaninglessness, and you're saying about how it's meaningless because there would have been another conflict.
No, that's not what he's saying. That's not what that speech is saying.
Yeah, but you're saying that.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that's what the story of Attack on Titan is saying to me. That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about Erwin's speech.
It's literally a direct example from Erwin. That's not
what he was saying. That's not what he was saying. That is not what he was saying.
He was saying that meaninglessness, saying that something it was meaningless or they shouldn't fight is. No. He literally addresses that they're fighting for the people to remember them.
No, they're not fighting for the people to remember them. That's not what he's fighting.
He says their memory serves as an example to the courageous
He's saying that we are going to charge to certain death. That's a fact. And no matter what I say to you, we're going to die. We're more than likely going to die by doing this. But that doesn't mean that your life doesn't have meaning. That doesn't mean that you living in this world didn't have meaning. That doesn't mean that you're not just a disposable soldier. You are a person. And the fact that you are a person, this sacrifice that you're willing to make right now, you're willing to throw your life away, I can only hope that the next motherfucker is willing to do the same shit that I'm willing to do. If not, then I just died for no reason. That's what he's saying. There's no other way that speech could have meant. Other than that.
I'm saying this speech as a broader prospect of the entire story.
That speech is not a prospect of the entire story. That speech is a prospect of Erwin's character. It has nothing to do with Eren. It has nothing to do with him.
What?
It's not that speech does not encompass Attack on Titan. That speech encompasses Erwin, his character. Every speech that every character gives in this story does not mean the whole story. That just means how they think.
And how they think. It's not like Attack on Titan is just about one story. And also, I'm not saying that also they shouldn't rebel because it would have because it would be bombed anyway.
But the story of Attack on Titan is saying that with the extra 8 pages, it's saying that it's pointless.
It's saying that it is
trying to change the world is pointless. Lay down and die. Lay down and die and accept the fact that if somebody wants to kill you because they don't like who you are, oh well, just die.
You do realize that you're saying this while Baron is still alive and also like relatively okay. So it's like, so if anything, he's like the one. He's a survivor. He
probably fucking hid underneath the nukes and shit. Good for him.
There wasn't nukes. There was carpet bombing, but
okay. Well, you get what I'm saying.
But my point is again that it's us. The point is about meaninglessness. The series brings up the meaninglessness angle a lot, and Erwin's speech also before he's saying that, yeah, you're right. He is saying about how, you're going to charge and you're going to make sure that your life will. But he's not saying that your lives are inherently meaningful, but instead he's saying that.
That is exactly what he is saying.
He's saying that, in fact, he says that none of the things that they hold meaning to matter, as they're basically in battle. That's what he's saying.
No, he said no. They do.
No, he literally says everything that you thought had meaning, every hope, dream, or moment of happiness, none of it matters as you lying, bleeding out on the battlefield. None of it changes what a speeding rock does to a body. We all die. That's That's what he's saying.
And then continue.
He's not saying about.
And then continue.
No offense. But does that mean our lives were meaningless? Does that mean that there's...
Exactly. No, it doesn't. Exactly. Exactly. It does not mean our lives is meaningless. Exactly.
What? What do you mean? Anyways, saying about when you're saying about meaninglessness, I was saying about... There's a thing... When you're talking about meaninglessness, that's what I'm saying. Because he's saying, if you're like... These guys were dying, fighting for their own country because they were... It's not like they were like saying, "Oh yeah, we're staying back." They were literally launching surface-to-air missiles at the planes. It's not... They're not sitting back and letting this happen. It's not like the first, like, what is it called again?
They were trying to defend themselves, but at the end of the day, they died. So Aaron's mission was meaningless. According to the story, Aaron should have just not bothered. He should have just went with Mikasa and died in the woods somewhere.
According to the story, Aaron going to doing genocide itself is not a plan. It's supposed to be something that's condemned by the story, and something that...
No, that was a great plan. That was the only plan he had.
I mean, there's also the 50 Years Wars, and there's also other battles.
That's proven that wouldn't have worked, because people are just going to fight each other anyway. So it wouldn't have worked.
Also, you seem to also undermine a little bit of an underrated theme, I guess you could call it. Humanity finds a way to survive. That is also something that I feel like partially counters that Irwin's ideology, because the ideology that humanity finds a way to survive and be able to fight and be able to live is something that actually, like, I feel like is somewhat addressed, but it's actually pretty underrated as a theme, and I feel like also gets some amount of relevance into this. I actually had this partially prepared. But anyway, humanity even when, like, hundreds of people are dying, there's always this quote-unquote miracle that's happening. There's, like, 200,000 people were sent out, no weapons, literally nothing. 100 people. Yeah, that's small, but they survived. How did they find a way to survive with no clothing? They did. How did humanity survive 100 years behind the walls? Actually, there's like a manga right here I have right now. What is it called again? I forget it and actually see what it is. The Before the Fall manga. It actually explains what happened. How humanity would find a way to actually learn how to, fight against the Titans and be able to successfully battle them. Actually, I have, like, first 2 volumes. It's a thing that was partially in the spin-offs, but also partially starts to make itself into the real story, and especially in the 8 pages. Because even with all of Paradise, you could say a glass half empty kind of thing, and saying all of Paradise was destroyed. But even with everything I've destroyed, everything broken, there's still people that have survived. There's still people that have lived beyond, and people who will be almost independent from, like, that idea of, like, but they will still be the ideas they had in the past. But they still survived. They survived. And actually, something that I feel like is, like, kind of underrated about the series is that humanity will find a way to survive. And this almost, like I said, counters it. Humanity will find a way to survive.
So?
And actually, this is also partially why I think the 100% rumbling plan isn't even attainable, even if he tried to.
How come? Because he can count to 80. Why can't he count to 100?
Because there's underground cities.
How can he count to 80 then?
Because he just knows how many people.
So he just knows 80, but he doesn't just know 100.
No, he doesn't just know 80.
So you're saying he was wrong with the 80?
I mean that he's saying that
he thinks it was 80, but he don't know for sure. So why did he say it so surely that it was 80 if he didn't know? Why didn't he just say most? If he didn't fucking know.
Said 4/5. He said 4/5 actually, yeah. 4/5, 80, yeah.
So if he
What I'm
said
saying
80, that means
is,
he knows the number. So he
that
could have got
means
100
that
if he
means
wanted
I'm
to.
not gonna. I'm not saying that he didn't know. Okay, let me backtrack. I'm not saying he didn't know that he would kill a lot of people, but I'm saying that it's impossible for him to try to kill because of the theme that. Not only that, because of the theme, because there's people who have who've survived, like almost impossible things in even the AOT verse. There's
So you're
and
saying
this
Aaron couldn't have killed 100%. Is what you're saying. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't have done it.
yeah,
He could have done
because there's always
99.9
going to be
then. He
some
could have did
people.
99.9 then.
Even if he did 99.9, it'd still
Yeah,
be
no,
greater than the
they-
population inside paradise actually.
No, it wouldn't.
Yeah, assuming that the population of paradise was about 1.6 billion people, which is representative, I believe, of 1900's population, which I'm going to assume, it would actually still be slightly more than what is outside paradise inside paradise.
99.9. So
Yeah,
0.1%. 0.1% of how much?
1.6 billion, I believe.
0.1% of 1.6 billion is how much?
Let me see. Times 1 0 that's 1,000 million billion. So that is 1.6 million. Paradise by this point, I believe Matt Pat or somebody made a theory that by the time it would still be slightly above 1 million. So even if Aaron killed 99.9%, he'd still be dealing with the hatred of 1.6 million people.
Yeah,
on
they
him.
couldn't do shit against colossal titans.
I mean, they
couldn't do a
Did
singular
you think that
thing
again
against them.
they weren't able to actually, like I said before the fall, they weren't able to actually be able to fight the Titans, and everything that they were just sending out to the Titans a century ago was just them sending people to send people. It wasn't strategic. It was just basically massacre of every soldier who would go outside, until this insane guy. I haven't read the entire thing, but this insane guy who's like freakishly smart manages to be able to invent the ODM gear. But the problem is it's still not completely ODM. It's not omnidirectional. It's still limited in movement of how far it can move. And actually, the main character, I forgot his name, but basically the main character gets saved by it, but he doesn't end up actually able to. He's able to only be saved because of the hooks. And the actual mechanism is actually not very useful because it's not omnidirectional. Meanwhile, they by a century later, not only are they have the full ability to make ODM gear, not only that, they've also got to the point where they can mass produce it. In a century. This is the people who had literally nothing from their time inside the walls. They had nothing inside the walls. Not the military police were hiding technology from them, and yet they still managed to make technology that would be able to fight back against the Titans.
Not colossal titans.
They found out a way to they found out a way to, even Hanji with their ODM gear was able to fight off a few of the colossal.
One or two.
It was 3.
Oh, 3.
It was 3 or 4. It was 3 or 4.
We got like 1,000 more, 100,000 more to go, buddy. Good luck.
But anyway, my point is that there's like the theme about Attack on Titan is that humanity.
If Aaron was able to destroy 80% of the world in like what, a day, I'm pretty sure you give him a week, he would have done it all. Pretty sure.
Except the thing is, there's
fairly certainly
humanity
all
that
would have been gone.
Also, let me humor you for a bit. Even if he was gone, what does that change? Even Kiyomi and Flock agreed on one thing, that Paradise would kill each other.
Parody would fight each other, blah, blah, blah. So then, again, we go back to my original point that there was no purpose. Aaron shouldn't have done anything. He should have just sat there and died. Right?
No. What?
So what should he have done?
He should have done not the plan he did, obviously.
Which one should he have done?
He should... Also, he should have slowly tried to he should have slowly tried to do, say, what many other peaceful leaders have done in the past. Say, I'm gonna say probably Martin Luther King is not a bad example.
Turn the
But
other
he
cheek.
was able.
Turn the other cheek.
I mean, it's not. The point is that he was able to very successfully, able to not turn away racism. If that's to say that, but he was able to at least get the civil rights movement into full action because of how. And obviously, there's probably still there's still problems with redlining and other things that still have an effect. But that doesn't
but
necessarily
you see,
mean
at that time that's a completely different scenario. They weren't actively trying to eradicate every black person off the planet at that time. So I'm sure Martin Luther
lynching.
King's.
There was lynching,
No,
a
I
lot of
didn't
lynching.
I didn't say every single one. There were some, yes, but not every
Also,
single one. So Martin Luther
majority of
King's
people actually
logic wouldn't really apply.
When I'm not saying Martin Luther King's logic necessarily. I'm saying that there's ability for people to make peace. Gabby, for example.
For sure.
Gabby, Nicolo. These were people who were staunched.
There's a possibility for people to make peace, for sure. But Aaron didn't want to take that chance. He didn't want to take the chance for people to make peace because it wasn't fucking working while he was alive. And if anything, I mean, it's the chances are even slimmer now after the actions that he did when he attacked Marley.
Because his thing is not, again, like I said, his entire thing wasn't about making peace with the world or whatever.
No, it's about like Aldea.
He said, but more than that.
Yeah, I know.
It's not his major calling card. He said in 131.
His major calling card was to protect Eldia. Anything else, again, is poorly fucking written.
What? He literally says in the 130 and 131, I want my friends to live long lives, and I want to see the destruction of the world.
No, he didn't say that. He said there's more than that. He didn't say I want.
He said more than that. The world I saw inside was nothing like I saw in Armin's book.
And that's true.
And he basically talks about how
he was
the people who are. He was talking about how, not only was he was talking about Armin's book, and he basically saying he wished for it, and he wanted it to all be wiped away. And he was apologizing to Ramsey for that.
He wanted it all to be wiped away because they were evil people out there who wanted to destroy his entire race. That's why.
Except
it wasn't because they existed.
Except he doesn't say. Except he's saying about. Except this entire thing during the rumbling, he's not saying, "Oh, I'm doing this for my entire race" or this. He's talking about Armin and his book and saying about how he wants to experience true freedom. Saying about
freedom is
flowing water, frozen plains, snowfields on sand. I'm sure the outside world is way bigger.
Why, when he saw the ocean and there were no humans there, was he not happy?
Because he was haunted by the memories he had, and he knew that, and he saw that humanity existed outside the world.
He don't really care about that, then, does he?
What?
He don't really.
He saw that humanity existed outside the.
But there was no humanity at the ocean at that time, except for the people he liked.
He knew that with Grisha coming, and Grisha being like crushed, and that there was people outside the world that. There's people outside the world that existed.
Yes, bro. Those people that want to kill him, bro, not just people in general.
I mean, if he wanted to, realistically, he could have just killed all the leaders and then basically usurped the entire government. How are you gonna
find them if they're hiding behind millions of other?
I mean, he killed literally everybody. Everybody in the internment zone
at that time, but they won't do that again.
Yeah, and if you. Yeah, and the thing is, there's always other ways. The thing is, I guess this is a theme that I'm gonna wrap up because I actually need to sleep. But the theme about Attack on Titan is that there's always, there's always another way, but there's forming an understanding, and Aaron doesn't want to form an understanding.
He did want to form an understanding. It just didn't work.
He didn't want to form an understanding.
Yes, he did. He tried.
With Reiner, actually, I'll take that back. Yeah. With Reiner, he did try to establish a connection and understanding of what was happening.
He sure did.
But even so, he still was disappointed that they existed.
To kill his entire race. Yes, he was very disappointed.
Eldians aren't even. Eldians aren't even a race, but I'm gonna bring that up. Anyways,
what are they then?
They're people. That's it.
They're a race of people.
I mean, saying that they're a race when there's like potentially like there could potentially be white, black, Hispanic. There's like it's not race, a
They
defined
are a
race. That
race of
doesn't
Eldians are a race of people, bro. They are certainly a race.
how.
What do you mean how? They're a
No, no, I
race.
mean like race is generally, you know, not determined by like, oh, commonality or this. It's usually determined. It's not usually determined by that. It's not. And also, even if he was the race of Eldians, he would have. He still killed 80% of all Eldians outside of the walls,
He sure did.
and also basically signed their death certificate. So it's clearly not that he's wanting to protect his people because he killed his people.
His people on his island,
I
not
mean,
Eldians.
you get 126. He still ends up injuring and killing a shit ton of people, doesn't
He
he?
had to. He had to.
He had. If he's as like is powerful as people make him out to be,
yeah.
then he could very easily, you know, like make it slowly crumble downwards, or say, actually, why not just say relocate? Actually, he could have said to Historia, "Oh, why don't you relocate everybody who's near the walls and move them out?"
Like,
but he didn't.
And that would have been a pretty big hint that Historia was working with him, wouldn't it?
I mean, she doesn't have to necessarily pass on the orders, does she?
How else? Who's going to pass them on then?
I mean, I guess Aaron himself could have passed it on and said to everybody in the world. Eldians?
Are you talking about when? Are you talking about when he was in Paths?
No, I was talking about in 123. He basically collapsed the entire walls, which killed a lot of people and injured a lot more.
Had to do it. Necessary evil, necessary sacrifice for the greater good. Which just goes to show that his original plan is terrible. Really? Everybody who died was a sacrifice for nothing.
What? Hey, Aaron wasn't even like Aaron was like not really for the greater good, and actually most of the people he was talking to.
The greater good and for his people, though, for his people's greater good. But that's not the greater good of the entire world because his people are less. So.
If he was saying the only people that he actually ends up keeping mostly safe is Mikasa, Armin, and most of the people who were, say, what is it called again? Most of the people who were his friends, John, Mikasa, Aaron, and like people like that. Those were the people who are mostly kept safe. Most of the other,
like Hanji.
And I don't.
And Sasha.
Sasha didn't sacrifice, and even like what is his name? Even the Chad known as Arthur didn't really blame Aaron either, or Gabby. It's because the fact that they got such a big. It was like a big force, and I could actually go on a lot longer about that. But anyways, I need to sleep. I'm really tired. Anyway, Anyway, see ya. I'll probably try debating at you in about a few. I'll see if I can debate you in a bit.
All good, bro. You have a good day, man. Thanks for stopping by.
No problem. Bye.
See ya, man. Yeah, I'm not sure who's Arthur is. I think he meant King Arthur. Why do you want me to interview always try hard, bro? Why do y'all want me here? What am I gonna ask this man? All of his thoughts are in his videos. Why do you even want to slap on Titan, bro? Arthur Bros. Oh, that's his name? Yeah, he likes to jump around a lot. All right, we got another debater who says that he doesn't think that A&R makes narrative sense. So let's see what he has to say. His name is Bonky. What's up, Bonky?
Hello, what's up? How's your day?
It's going good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Just to like preface everything, I don't like the 139, but I think like A&R like makes the same amount of narrative sense, if that like kind of
So you
makes
think
sense.
that ANR is just as bad as
No,
139?
okay. No, I would prefer ANR over 139, but I think like in terms of a narrative perspective, they kind of like they're equally like doesn't make sense.
So they're equally narratively bad, but you would prefer one over the other.
Yeah.
Okay,
Does that
cool.
kind of make sense?
That's interesting. Okay,
I'm
so
kind of going
what?
off the top, so.
That's all right. No, that makes sense. So I think we all understand that. So what makes you believe that ANR is as narratively bad as 139?
So like the whole thing about Aaron restricting like so he in like I forgot what the chapter, but he doesn't take away the Titan shifter of like his all like the alliance, right?
Okay.
I don't understand if his original plan wasn't to like the shitty Code Geass ending. I don't understand why he wouldn't just like
Just take
what's
their
it called?
powers away.
Just take their powers away.
Okay, I'll tell you why. When Aaron returns from his rampage, if they still want to kill him, he's gonna be defenseless. So he might as well get it the fuck over with. He won't be able to live. He won't be able to live his life in peace. He's gonna always have to watch over his shoulder because
So
Mikasa or Armin or Levi are gonna come out of the woods and slice his fucking throat. So you might as well get it over with. If y'all really want to kill me, let's go. That's
Alright,
why.
but I feel like that kind of so I don't want to straw man you, but are you implying that
ahead.
Aaron wants to like
No.
kill his friends
No,
for
no, I'm
the
not
rumbling?
implying that. No, I'm not implying that. I'm implying
Okay.
that. No, I'm implying that it would make sense. I'm saying why it would make sense. The reason why it would make sense for Aaron to allow them to fight him, even though he could take away their abilities to do so. The reason why he did that was so he can get everyone who would be against him, like he would know. Like, okay, Mikasa's against me, she's willing to come kill me. Armin's against me, she's willing to come kill me. Falco's against me, he's willing to come kill me. He knows if he were to not take their powers away and they just sit in Eldia in parody, when he comes back, he has no clue who's on his side and who isn't.
Well, I don't know how many, but he's gonna die, right? Because of the Curse of Ymir. So let's say hypothetically,
But ANR hypothetically, Curse of Ymir is casted away. That's always been a thing.
Let's rewind because there's like ANRs. I'm not talking about like. Let's just like stay what ANR is, so we're both like on the same page.
Yeah,
so
I'm saying in the theory of ANR because ANR has never happened before, but the theory of it is that the Curse of Ymir will be lifted.
Wait, how does that happen in the theory?
Well, the theory is that Ymir is freed from paths by Aaron and reborn as Aaron's child. Aaron and his story.
Oh, it's reincarnated.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the theory has always been that the curse will be lifted. So you gotta keep that into consideration as well.
Okay, I didn't know that was my fault.
Yeah, it's all good.
I still think that like it makes I don't know. I don't think that Aaron would like because his character he wants to protect his friends and he wants to protect Eldia. He's taking them over the world, right? He's putting them above the world essentially. So for him to like I don't know like put like cuz he pushed them away with like the table scene and everything, right?
Terribly, but okay.
Yeah, I guess. But that was like his attempt to push them away, right?
Uh-huh.
So I don't why would he I still think it would make more sense like in like for Aaron just to take their freedom away because he said that he would like and like when they were going through the memories of Zeke he said that he wouldn't hesitate to take someone's freedom if he could achieve his. So it makes sense for him just to like trap them in Paz and Eldia
but they hadn't tried to take his freedom away yet. They didn't try until they came to kill him. And also, what was I about to say? And also, fuck, I forgot. We were talking about the table scene. Damn, I can't remember what I was about to say. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was just like, so I said that like they tried to push them away from the table scene.
Right. Why would he push them away why would he push them away?
It wasn't for the Code Geass.
Right, if it wasn't for the Code Geass. The theory in ANR was that he didn't push them away. The theory was that he was telling the truth.
Oh, that he.
The theory was that it was going to be a plot twist where The plot
he
twist would be
actually
like
hates like
he actually
Mikasa.
hates Mikasa. Yes.
But I don't. I feel like that's kind of
Narratively
like
would have
a
fit.
plot.
Narratively, it would have fit. If he had become this person,
I
narratively,
don't
it
think
would have fit.
Aaron would like. I don't think he romantically liked Mikasa, but I wouldn't say he hates her. I don't.
I
There's no
wouldn't say
evidence in
so. I
that.
wouldn't say he hates her either. But you act like you've never. People act like you've never been in a situation where you're emotionally at a peak and you say
Yeah.
things that you don't necessarily 100% mean, but you still kind of feel that way. Like, have you ever been in an altercation with your parents and you say,
Yeah.
I hate
I
you?
think.
Like, that type thing.
So you're saying that he was just like embellishing essentially to.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then wait. And also just to clarify, does Zeke die in ANR?
Does Zeke die in ANR?
Yeah.
I mean, he could stay. He could live or die. It probably dies.
It's,
It's up in the
if he
air.
I think he so Zeke. I think personally, I think he needs to die because the way they set it up with like Levi's whole story.
Probably.
But if Zeke were
I
to
think Levi
die,
should have died. I think Levi should have died on a Thunder Spirit, to be honest. But that's just me.
well, I don't think that really because then that kind of like defeats the whole like. I mean, that doesn't completely defeat it, but like it
He
kind of.
doesn't. He doesn't have to get his revenge. No one else gets that privilege. Why is he so special?
I guess. I guess. But wait, shit. What was I saying? I just lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. So let's say Zeke dies, right? And Aaron loses the royal blood to the to use the Founder's Titan.
Royal blood
So
ain't
the theory
required no
is
more.
yeah. So then the theory says that he would use the power of the Warhammer Titan to get Historia's baby
Uh huh.
to but wouldn't that require him to essentially turn Historia's baby into a Titan, which is essentially sacrificing an alien or one of his people, which is like one thing that he didn't want to do. He didn't want to like
It would
sacrifice
only.
Historia.
It would only be a Titan until Ymir's curse is lifted.
All right.
So
I'm
it'd
trying
only
to
be a
defend this
Titan
ending.
temporarily. It would only be a Titan temporarily. It wouldn't be a Titan forever.
So you're just saying like he would just do it for like the second.
And plus, yeah, and plus Ymir has,
Alright.
yeah, just for a moment.
Also, I
It's-
think the whole thing with the Erwin change to Armin, because I agree with your video with Armin the hypocrite. I think
Mhm.
Armin was pretty like useful after or useless after the time skip.
Uh-huh.
So I think it makes sense for him to like accept violence or something, and then he would be the one to kill Aaron or at least like fight him, right?
Yeah.
But in ANR, he or ANR, it doesn't have him like saving the world like Aaron
No, but it
foreshadowed.
has him trying, which is all that matters.
But it doesn't really like finish his arc.
It does
It
finish
kinda
his
leaves
arc.
it
He
on-
tried. He tried. He was willing to kill his best friend to defend the world. That's finishing his arc. There's nowhere else to take that character. At that point, once he decided to go against Aaron, the only possible way to take him was to kill him and to lead the charge to kill his best friend. Where else could you go? Better than him thanking him, yeah.
Yeah. So would you, or do you think ANR is like, or perfect, or not? I don't want to say perfect, but like,
It's not possible for it to be perfect because Isayama made too many fuck ups, to be honest. But it'd have been much better than what we got for sure.
but they
100%.
also kind of set up Aaron to be the villain at like, I don't remember the chapter. I haven't read in a minute, but the chapter where he's like, he like brings all the aliens into paths, and he says he's gonna enter or he's gonna like destroy the world with the rumbling. He
Mhm.
essentially sets up Aaron as a villain because from there on, we then move to the Alliance point of view, right?
No,
And
it
at
was
that point, Aaron,
it was everyone else's point of view except for Aaron for a long time. But
yeah,
that doesn't mean he's a villain. That just means that he has a different outlook on life than they do. He has a different outlook on how to solve this problem than they do. That doesn't mean he's a
I understand
villain.
that, but like from a storytelling perspective, we're kind of changing like the protagonist kind of with like the whole.
Well, yeah,
Because
it's a
Aaron gets
protagonist who
very
destroys
few.
the world. That's pretty deep. You know, it's a protagonist
know,
that destroys the world.
I know I like the whole story except for 139, but I think at that point, like Isayama like set Eren up to die. He said it's all about like Mikasa overcoming her connection with Eren
She
and
already
Armin
did
and them
that.
coming to terms. Yeah,
Mikasa
so
overcame her action. That was her first character development in the whole story, and people just pretend like that didn't happen. But she been already overcame her connection with Eren. She been done that.
wait,
When Eren first quote unquote died, the first time.
what do you mean like when Armin like exploded, like blew him up or
No. When he died the first time, when he became when he got
oh
eaten the
like
first time.
season 1 when he got like
Yes. She had already accepted. She already went through all that.
oh
Yeah.
I'm trying to justify this ending, bro. Let me think. Other than that, kinda. I still don't think like the whole like with what's his name, Aaron Kruger.
Mm-hmm.
He says like the whole memories about like you need to save Mikasa and Armin,
Mm-hmm.
cause that's kind of like
Yeah, it's called a cruel irony. That's what that's called. And that would have been amazing.
yeah. Well, I just wanted to try.
It's all good, man. I mean, yeah, yeah, A&R wouldn't be perfect, like you said. There would be some things that's like, but that's more so like the writing in between A&R. It's not A&R itself, you know.
Yeah, I guess.
It's more the writing in between it, you know what I mean? But if Isayama was fucking up in those last 10 odd chapters or so, he was saying some doing shit that didn't make any fucking sense. But at the same time, like, it still would have been infinitely better than what we got.
I agree.
Like, by far.
Whatever. Well, I hope for an anime only ending, but you know.
We
There's
all
so much
hoping,
anime.
man. We're all praying, but
Thank you for having me.
it's all good, man. Thanks for stopping by. You have a good one, bro.
You too.
Yeah, he was a cool guy. He just wanted to understand because he didn't really get like why A&R was seen as like a better alternative when it has just as much problems. But when I explained it to him, first of all, we've never seen A&R, so we don't know how it would be handled. Second of all, there are ways to handle it that wouldn't really be all that big of a deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, people were saying, oh my god, you think that Eren used a warhammer across the ocean? He's a big giant fucking skeleton. Who's to say there's not a cord in the water? Who's to say? It wouldn't be that unbelievable to me. I'll be like, oh shit, okay. That would have been, bro, imagine that twist, bro. Imagine they cut Eren's head off. They're like, oh, we killed Eren. And then you just see like the spine of the Titan just slowly go down as it starts to the spine Titan starts to fall apart. The colossal Titans is just standing there. The spine Titan that he was in starts to crumble into pieces. Everyone's like celebrating, and then you just see the cord just start. The panels just go to the cord, and it starts swiggling, and then it goes into the ocean. It goes under the ocean, and you see like fish, and all the way at the bottom of the ocean, you see like life forms and like cells, and the worm like they showed in Zeke's little description and shit like that, and it keeps going and going and going until it gets back to land on the beach that they were at, and it keeps going and going and going, and then it gets to fucking Eren inside the crystal, bro, and Eren come out that bitch and goes to and walks to Historia and touches the baby and says, you are free, and then all them motherfuckers get stomped the fuck out. Oh god, dude. God, why couldn't we just have gotten that, bro? That would have been the best story of all time. The best story of all time, man. Of all time. Of all time. Of all time. Man, that would have been amazing. I just don't understand. Like, all the pieces were there. Ymir being reborn as his daughter after she's the one who sent the message to him, freeing her. Her name is Ymir. It makes perfect sense why Historia want to name her daughter Ymir. Everything just makes perfect sense. The baby being born on the day of, it's like, how do you how do you not do that? I just don't understand. Mm, mm, mm. LT gets a sequel. You reading it? Absolutely not. Unless it was just like for content for YouTube, but I'm not reading it on my own accord. I don't give a fuck. I watched Zero K's video. I watched all his videos. I still think that the farmer isn't the dad. He must be. Historia loves him, so he must be the dad. Why else would she be with him? You know, if he's just pretending, she could have left him now. Yep, exactly, Monk. Exactly. And the fucking the epilogue of it, the actual 139 is like Aaron, you know, telling everyone what happened, leading them off the island. They all start exploring, seeing the world, and building civilizations in other areas. And Aaron like sees it all, and while he sees it all, he wishes that Armin was there. He wishes that Armin was able to see this because this was their dream. You know. It would have been dope too if Luis didn't die, but she kept the scarf. And then after Aaron did everything that he did, Luis came and gave Aaron the scarf, and he wore it. That would have been, man. Gosh, dude, there's just so many ways to make that just like on another level of touching, and it's just like wow. It's just like wow, man. You just threw it all away. Farmer is the father, no changing that. According to the story, yeah. But plot holes, no. Music. I'm about to end the stream, y'all. I think I need a mental break. But but you guys definitely stop by. We're gonna be reacting to the new episode Sunday, 12 p.m. CST. So make sure you stop by for that. Sunday 12 p.m. CST, Attack on Titan. So we can watch it together. Freestyle. Oh my god, no. I don't have any brain cells left to freestyle. But yeah, I hope you guys stop by for that. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Peace out.